Spin the things. Here we go. Hopefully we're working. I know a couple minutes late. We had to jump in fashionably late. What is happening, Fish and friends? Welcome to another episode. We've got a fun little crew tonight. Of course, we got the Randizzle down there. Randall,
Word
how
up.
are you?
Honestly, I was good until I started seeing some of these comments, like it's my fault, we're late to start and all this
Debo
stuff.
running on Dizzle time, says Stephen Elmer.
Walmart internet, obviously. I mean,
And we got 10 Horse Mighty Gabe. How are you, dude?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on here. I'm excited to talk
Yeah,
a little
brother,
fishing this evening.
absolutely. He was rubbing it in, saying he just got off the water fishing. He had a beautiful day. What was the temp out there?
It started out like 37 degrees, but it got up to about 64 in the afternoon.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah, a
I'd
little bit
take
of
some of
wind.
that.
Yeah, it was nice, man. We had some, it's been like in the 70s. And then we had a little front push through yesterday. We had some rain, some wind, some lightning and thunder. And that kind of pushed out early this morning, and the temperatures dropped into like the high 30s, but it turned out to be just a beautiful day. The fishing was slow, but I was out there. It's always better to be out there and
Oh yeah,
fishing than it is
100%.
work and doing chores.
Can't catch him if you're not
Yeah,
out there.
I heard that.
I knew I wasn't going to catch anything, but I went out for I don't know, maybe a half hour, 45 minutes tonight before I came and got on here, but I knew I wasn't going to catch anything at all, but I was just like, "Hey, I'm out here casting and
Even if
losing."
even if the fish weren't, even if the fish were biting, I knew you weren't catching anything.
Yeah, Debo, I sent you a text.
Thank.
Was it today? I think I told Debo I am like 100% early ice out spring fisherman guy because I did the biggest hook set on a log or like a branch, and I was like, "Oh, it's a fish!" And then I set the hook and come up
And it was
with
that
the
10-pound
stick.
stick that everybody sets the hook on.
Yeah, I
All
wished I would
right.
have had a bunch of lures.
So tonight, hopefully I sound better. I got a new mic. I got one of these fancy arm mic things. I feel like I'm a what do they call, a podcaster now? See, I got my mic I can adjust. So hopefully it sounds well, better than before. I know it was pretty bad. But tonight we're talking about how can we improve? How can you get better at bass fishing? Now it's not going to happen overnight, right? So I want to talk about the small things because I'm not a pro. Gabe fishes some tournaments. Randy, does stuff different than me. Everybody's got their own little tips, tricks, things that they've done to get better. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. I will be doing a giveaway. I'm going to do two different giveaways tonight. One, I painted up some poppers. So for both of the winners tonight, I need you to be guinea pigs and test some of these blanks. I haven't got to test all these, but these are the poppers. So I'm going to do, I guess you can kind of pick whatever you want. I'm going to do a free giveaway. You can pick one of these that I painted up. I did like a shad. This is supposed to be like a rock crawler. I don't know if these blanks are good or not. So somebody's going to have to do some testing for me, but one of those for whoever wins the free. And then anybody that donates, I'm going to do a random drawing on pick for anybody that donated and give away two of these. So
Nice.
free, somebody gets one. Anybody that's donating, I'm going to do a second giveaway. And then for both of them, I think I've got extra Tackle Warehouse shirts. I can throw in some shirts for you. So those are the things we're doing. Got some giveaways going on later tonight. We usually do that at about the hour mark. The only catch is you have to be present. Okay, so got to be present. So yeah, what are we going to talk about? Gabe, Randy, what is one tip that you all have used to get better at fishing? Big thing, little thing, anything. I know I texted Gabe before. I was like, "Yeah, you want to go live?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What do you want to talk about?" He's like, "Oh, I don't know." He's like, "I don't know. We could just BS." I'm like, so I got this. Actually was from a person in my comments that said, "Man, I suck at fishing. Can you teach me how to catch fish?" And I'm like, well, not necessarily, but I try to
I
give
mean,
tips in every one of my videos. So what's a tip? Let's start the
I
ball rolling.
mean,
Of course, I want to get everybody in the comments going too. If you've got tips or if you've got questions, let's get the chat rolling here. What do you got? What do you guys got?
I know we talked about this last week, Devo, with Gramps. I would say 75% of fishing, I feel like maybe could be, just luck. You happen to be in the right spot at the right time. The fish just happens to be swimming by. Maybe not 75, but a good percentage of fishing is luck. But then you run into knowing where to go and fish. And then the biggest thing when we were talking with Gramps last weekend was just getting out there. You got to get out there and you got to fish and you got to, it sounds bad to say, but you got to grind. You just got to get out there and do it. But in the same breath, I will also say, would 2, 3 years ago, I think I got into into the issue of I was getting out too much. I was like before work, on lunch, after work, and I was,
See,
going out
that's not a
3 different
problem.
times a day.
That's a good thing. Keep going.
But I was doing that like 7 days a week, and I just like frustrated, same spot over and over and over again. The biggest thing for me is if I'm going to go out and fish a bunch, I can't handcuff myself to the exact same spot, throwing in the exact same lure, because just because I caught them there yesterday doesn't mean they're going to be there today. So I guess
Yeah,
the biggest thing
you touched
is,
on a couple good things, Randall. Yes,
yeah,
yes, those are things that I had written down here.
yeah,
We're gonna dive into those.
I mean, I think the more I fish, the more I realize that the key to fishing and successfully catching, I guess more so not fishing, but catching fish, is finding the fish. And it sounds obvious. I mean, of course, you're going to find the fish or you can't catch them, but fish location is the key. There's no magic bait. There's a lot of pretty stuff out there. The fishing industry are masters at selling a good paint job, and they do really good marketing, but it doesn't matter what you have tied on if you're not around fish, you're not going to catch them. So I think the toughest part of catching fish, obviously, is finding the fish. And I think you could talk to any of the professionals, the guys on the BPT, the MLF guys, the bass masters, and they will probably say that it's fish location is the key. Once you become proficient with a rod and reel, you're a decent caster, maybe you can pitch pretty good, you can skip maybe up underneath the dock, you kind of know what rotational lures based on the conditions and the time of year and stuff. It comes down to finding the fish, and that's where time on the water comes in. And it's
I
not
completely
just
agree.
it's not just time on the water. It's it's good time on the water. It's not the word I'm looking for, but meaningful time on the water, like where you're really focusing on what you're doing. You're not just out there casting. You're thinking about making adjustments. Why am I not getting bit on this? Is it the location? Is it the bait? Those kind of things. And then when you get some feedback, you can start expanding on it. Like this time of the year, we're still in the winter, but around here it's kind of springish. I know you guys are up north, so you guys are still dealing with ice, but the first place is to
slowly.
look.
We're slowly getting rid of it.
I'm so happy for you.
It's
I
creeping
feel
on
for you
us.
guys.
I think some of the small ponds and stuff. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get out tomorrow, Dizzle, but we'll see. Hopefully.
well, if you don't, I'm going to, and I'm going to send you pictures of all the fish I catch.
Right.
Sounds like normal, except you'll send me pictures of a sunset in your rod and reel, because that's all you'll have to send pictures of. But I completely agree, Gabe. I've had, I don't know how many conversations with people, and the what's the word? Not skill level. The gap between like a regular weekend angler and somebody who's going to go pro, or fish the BFLs, or fish whatever type of thing. Locating fish. I would argue and stand on that hill and die that it's always going to be locating fish, because I even think if I were to, I don't have a hell of an idea how to use live scope or something, but let's say theoretically I had a genie on my boat, and the genie's like, I can see every fish in the lake. There's a fish behind that tree right there. You could probably, chances are you could probably throw a jig, you could throw a Texas rig, you could throw, list off 10 different things. And as long as you put it in the right spot, there's a chance you're getting that fish, right? So I don't, like Gabe said, I don't think it's a magical lure. And that's completely the thing that it's kind of a good and bad thing, because I think there's people that continuously search for that magical bait, that one bait, right? But on the other end of the spectrum, I know that there's been days where I've completely hit jackpot on a new lure, and doing so has given me confidence in something and has helped me learn. So it's like you almost need to have those days where, like, man, I wish this would work. I wish this. Boom, you have a great day on a jerkbait, or you have a great day on a square bill. Then you're like, okay, it worked here. It worked in these spots. You kind of keep adding to that. And I think, kind of like Gabe was saying, having those productive days on the water, the days where you're either like finding a pattern or you're figuring out how to work a lure, something's going right, not just a, bluebird sky, and you're just pissed off that you're out there not catching anything. You throw a drop shot for 10 minutes, then you throw a shake head, then you throw a huge somebody, you're like, I'm not catching anything. What the hell's going on? So, but I would agree. Huge point is locating fish, and yeah, it comes with time on the water.
I mean,
let's see.
One thing I do
one
have to
real quick, Randall.
Yep.
Got a donation, Patrick L, $5. Practice casting and don't be afraid to snag. Yeah, absolutely. That's something that I couldn't tell you who it was, but I used to fish safe for the longest time. Meaning, if I was trying to hit a dock, end, or if I was trying to hit a brush pile, I was oftentimes fishing like 3-4 feet out away from it, thinking, "Oh, this is close enough. There's a fish. It's going to bite it," because I didn't want to get snagged and lose my lure, right? And I forget who it was that said, "Fish it like you've already lost it. Like, don't get attached to it. Expect to lose lures." And that was a huge piece of advice. So sorry, I need to cut you off. I wanted to get that.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, I agree with everything you guys said, except for one little piece. There is a magical lure, and it's a jig. Just saying, just kind of joking
Yeah, that
around
is your
there,
magical lure.
I got a few things to show you guys a little bit later if we get into some like unique looking bait that not a lot of people have heard of.
Throw them out now if you want. Absolutely, dude. This is open forum.
What do you got? That finesse jig's legit, man. For real.
Oh yeah, that's a little war eagle. I trimmed the skirt down a little bit with a rage craw tail. I mean, this was still tied on from last year. And it just so happened, magically tied on still. But I would say, the biggest thing is, you said, Debo, you can't have a special favorite fancy lure that you're scared to throw and you're gonna, scared to lose it. If you got one of those, like up there on the safe behind me, I've got some of those lures that I'm never gonna throw just because I don't ever want to take that risk of losing them. I have, comparable lures that I can throw, and I don't care. But I mean, how many days have there been where we've gone out, Debo, and I'm like, oh, broke off, oh, broke off, oh, broke
Happens
off.
all the time, especially jig fishing. Anything on the bottom like that. I mean, if you're fishing the rocks and anything where you're going to potentially get snagged, you're going to lose them. You're going to lose them. So Rob with the $50 bomb. Good golly, Rob. Rob is a good supporter, and I love his tattoo. Half fish, half pinup girl. Man, that is awesome. But no, since I dropped you a donation, got to make up for that. I found the best way for me to get better is practice and make sure to diversify. Yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing as a beginner. I think a lot of people will get kind of set in their ways as, oh man, I caught 50 fish on this spinnerbait over the past couple weeks. That's all I want to throw. Well, then what happens when it's a slick, calm day, or you've got a place that's ultra clear and you're trying to throw your bright chartreuse spinnerbait, or again, we're going back to Gabe, time on the water. Part of that is fishing different conditions. Don't just fish fair weather when it's cloudy, overcast, early in the morning. Go out all the time. There's always fish to be had. There's always fish to be found. That's the thing for me is like Randy and I'll go out sometimes and be like, man, we can't catch anything. I'm like, dude, there's people catching fish here right now. I guarantee it. We just have to figure it out.
Or, just kind of the opposite of that is we go out on those perfect days and we get skunked. It's like we can't figure out what they want, what they're biting on, what we should throw. And then we go out on a day that's, bluebird sky, not a cloud to be seen. And we just destroy them because we just happen to, diversify what we're throwing and come across the one thing that they really want.
Yeah, it's you nailed it. What I was going to kind of piggyback on fishing location, like right now, this time of the year, the northwest section of the lake seems to warm up a little bit faster than the other lake, especially if you have a pond. Like I have a 4-acre pond right here.
That's right.
And one of the benefits of having a pond right in your backyard is you can watch the wind, which direction is the wind blowing. You can see, you can actually visually see the wind. So how the wind direction affects that pond. And then with the ice, when we have ice, you can tell, like I live on the southeast corner of the lake, and I get ice first on my lake. It freezes up first. And then on the thaw, the northwest side will thaw out first, where I've still got, an inch of ice over here, and it'll be open water. So you can apply that to any body of water, and not just the north. Like if you have a big lake, say 1,000-acre, 2,000-acre lake, not just the north section of the lake, but even a cove. Like if you've got a 200-acre cove, that north side of that cove is going to warm up. And then you've got creeks like running. Sometimes if you have a heavy rain and you have warm temperatures and it's a warm rain, the back of that creek is going to warm up a little bit quicker. You're going to get a little bit of stain. It's going to typically be shallower because it's silted, and that stain is going to warm up a lot faster than clear water. So if you've got a heavy rain followed by 3 or 4 like really nice sunny bluebird sky days, you're going to get a couple degrees warmer back in that creek, and that can cause those fish in that area to become a little bit more aggressive. You're not actually going to pull fish into that area most of the time, but the fish that live in that creek, the resident fish, they may become a little bit more aggressive just because the water temperature has risen, 2, 3, 4, 5 degrees versus out on the main lake. So those are kind of areas to look. Now, if you're on the bank, you can't do that. You're kind of limited to what's in front of you. But a good place to start is definitely that northwest section of the lake, and then any kind of timber, any kind of laydowns, any kind of, I call it hard cover. If you got rocks, you got wood, anything that soaks up the energy from the sun is going to retain a little more heat. And fish they're cold-blooded. They're real in tune to little subtle temperature changes. I mean, us, we can't tell a degree. It's not that big a deal. I mean, 60, let's say 42 degrees outside versus 43 degrees, we can't tell. But a fish, they can tell.
And the big thing is air temperature versus water temperature, right? We might have a nice warm day, but the water temperature could be 10, 15, 20 degrees cooler, so that's another thing.
Yeah, there's a lot to think about, but at the same time, sometimes it's better just to keep it simple and to just use a few just kind of common sense principles and not get spun out. There's so much to fishing, which is why it attracts most of us. It's one of those things where you will never, ever, ever figure it out. It's impossible to figure it out. It's so live, it's so fluid, so real time that it's changing every day. It changes every hour. It changes. So that, to me, that's the draw of fishing. Is it's like a living thing in itself. It's an art form.
And that's the fun, is learning. If we went out every time, and every time you went, you caught 10 fish, you'd get sick of it. Like, sure. People would just be like, it's lost its luster. The thing is you might go out and get skunked 2-3 times, and you have a day where you just destroy them. You're like, yes, I want that every time. But it's not going to happen. You're not going to absolutely crush them every time out. And that, that's kind of the chasing the dragon. That's the thing that we want to catch every single time we go out. So
yeah, there's those days where you catch a bunch of, DEBO dinks, and you're like, man, I'm tired of catching these little peewees. And then there's days where you're like, I wish I could just catch a 12-inch bass. I would be very happy catching a couple 12-inch bass. But it happens to everybody.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I'm just thankful I can still get out and fish. We take so much for granted in our everyday lives, and that has become more apparent to me over the last, I don't know how many years, but especially lately. And, I'm just lucky I can still get out and fish. I enjoy it. If I'm catching big fish, small fish, I savor every catch. Scott with a $5 bomb. Scott, thank you. He said, how many different baits do you throw in the same area before you move to the next? So this is the thing. I'm honestly pretty bad at switching colors. So one thing that I kind of need to work on is I'll have a couple of my confidence colors, and I'll go to a spot and be like, oh, I've thrown this or that. I'll switch up baits. How many baits will I switch before I move? I don't know. And I guess that's kind of, again, a time on the water thing. If I've got some standing timber and I've thrown a chatterbait or a spinnerbait by it and haven't got anything, if I've flipped around it with a jig or a Texas rig, chances are they're probably not biting there, or they're just not there. So it's like, okay, I'm going to move. Are they on the riprap? Are they hiding under docks? Are they, I don't know. But, so much of that just kind of comes with time on the water, and there's no magical thing. You might have a power fisherman that would just, go by that with this trolling motor on 5, fire at the high percentage spots and keep going. You might have somebody that only likes to work a wacky rig and might really soak in those spots if they feel confident and there's the fish there.
Yep.
Okay, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think it's going to be depending on what type of bait I'm throwing also. If it's something where I'm going to have to like fully cut it off and go to my tackle bag and find a new one and retie it, probably less likely to actually, tie on a different color. Where is if I'm throwing like a free rig or just like a shaky head or whatever, and that's just as easy as pulling a plastic off and throwing a new one on. I've been guilty of maybe doing that a little bit too often, where I'm not giving, that one color enough chance and just switching to the next just because I think something magical is going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's kind of my take on that is that's a great question. I mean, that's one of those questions where it's like, that's a key question, really. And
Just like
um,
time in a spot. Those two
yes,
always stump me. How
timing
long
is
do you spend
huge.
in a spot, and how many lures or how many different things we throw? Because it's completely true. There'll be times where I'll go to a spot and I'll throw. I mean, Randy and I have done it. We were actually just talking about one of the spots where he was fishing an underspin. I was throwing a swim jig, and I don't remember something else what it was. A different colored swim bait, just regular paddle tail, and he had come back to hit the spot that I literally just hit, and he caught like 5 there with an underspin with a different colored plastic. And I'm like, how? I'm like, you're a jerk. And then I go over, he hornswoggles my spot, catches the fish.
It was a swim jig, not an underspin.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought it was a swim jig or underspin. Maybe that's what I had was the underspin. Either way, I don't remember what it was, but you mopped me. You had like 12 fish that day, and I think I had 2. Like you
I
had what
kept
they
telling
wanted.
you the entire time. I'm like, throw this color, throw this color, throw this color.
Yeah, I
And
wasn't going to let
old
you be right and
stubborn
figure out the
Debo.
pattern. I was banking for that big fish so I could say, you caught those little Debo dinks. I caught the
Yeah,
big
no,
one.
I caught the big one.
Yeah, I know.
And the numbers.
It's not just the bait. I'm not saying it wasn't the bait, but sometimes it's like the retrieve speed and
Sure.
the size of line. It can get pretty technical. You see that a lot with somebody that's throwing like an Alabama rig. I've been in a boat with somebody that's 2 people throwing an Alabama rig. One person is really catching them good, and the other person is not. And it's almost 9 times out of 10, it's the retrieve speed. It's how fast they're retrieving it. And a lot of times that's got to do with the depth of the rig running too. But you can apply that to anything, like working a jig on the bottom. Some people, will shake it a little bit. Some people will just kind of drag it. Some people will really stroke it, hop it up. That's the same bait, but there's a bunch of different ways. You can literally 2 people tie on a 1/2 ounce green pumpkin jig with a rage crawl on it, green pumpkin, everything the same line, same rod, everything, and work it a different way. One guy will catch 3 to 1 on the other guy. It's
not the size of the worm, it's how you wiggle it.
That's exactly true, man. There's a lot to that.
Oh, I can't believe we're 23 minutes in. For everybody just joining, we've got 282 people. How freaking awesome is this?
It's nice.
Bunch of people watching us, hanging out, talk fishing. So cool. If you're just getting in, I am doing a giveaway tonight. 2 giveaways, actually. I don't know where my other lure is. I will be doing a free giveaway. Whoever, you don't have to donate or anything. Get to pick one of these lures. These are all painted up DEBO customs, but the only catch is you have to do some testing for me. I haven't used these blanks yet, so I want you to test it. If it sucks, I'll replace it with a good one, but I want you to give me some feedback, some honest feedback, and let me know. So I will pick one winner for that, and then anybody who donates tonight, I'm doing a second giveaway, giving away the other 2 lures. And I think for both of you, I've got a Tackle Warehouse shirt, and I'll probably throw some other goodies in there for you because I appreciate all of you. Dang it, almost 300 people. How crazy is that? So we'll pull that about an hour. We'll do the giveaway. And Tom, we just had Tom Gross with the donation, $5 bomb. He said, find wood, throw to wood. This worked 99% of the time for me. Yeah, that's part of the thing to get better at fishing is learn, like, what are the high percentage spots? Where are fish going to be in the spots where you're fishing? Now, lake to lake, it's going to be different. If you fish a lake with a ton of docks, obviously, docks are a great place. If you fish a grass lake, okay, what grass beds or what grass lines are going to hold more fish, or the irregularities in that grass. Where do I put that bait? If I'm looking at a 100-yard stretch of grass, is there a point, of that grass that jets out, or like I don't know what it would be called. What's the opposite of point? An innie? Like a little cut in, or like
cut,
a little,
cut.
cut in there. If you fish a place that has a bunch of laydowns, which is probably my second favorite way to fish, just pitching a Texas rig at laydowns, up shallow water. Find the high percentage spots, and if you only have, like Randy says, an hour to fish, try to go out and hit those high percentage spots and be along your way. What were you going to say, Randy? Sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, kind of as it goes along with that, it's the high percentage ones that you really need to kind of pay attention to, especially when you don't have a whole lot of time. But just like any other instance, I'm very unconventional when it comes to like fishing in any way, shape, or form. So I'm not gonna, pigeonhole myself just to those unconventional or the conventional spots. I'm just probably do some crazy stuff and cast it out into the deep, deep spot in the middle and try to swim a finesse jig and pop and lock it and all that kind of crazy stuff too. Don't be scared to kind of do whatever kind of feels right, you know?
Your gut tells you something, go with it. Yeah, that's going to come with more time in the water. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Braden, a good supporter. Sounds silly, but keep a journal detailing conditions, baits, etc. Can help over time. Like you said, got to be patient because it takes time to improve. Yeah, that's one thing that YouTube, because there's so many like times and things that I forgot going out with Randy that I'll go back and watch old footage. Or everybody's got one of these. This is a perfect way to record because I'll go back and look at pictures. And I don't know if everybody's has it, but like in my pictures, when you go to, I don't remember what you push here. You go to like a picture and then hit like up on it. It will show you like the details of it, date, time, all that. So I'll go
Right.
back and look at older pictures from last year. What time was this lake like starting to pop off? What time do we get a good bite, in this spot? Those sorts of things. So yeah, keeping a journal, taking pictures. Even my guy Philip Cheek was talking about that. We were talking a little bit ago, and he was saying, yeah, I was going back and looking at pictures, and I'd forgot how many fish I'd caught on. I don't remember what it was, a crankbait or spinnerbait, something like that. So it's absolutely, Braden. It's a good way to keep track of that stuff.
It's crazy, Debo, that you say that. I don't know how many times you've sent me a picture or like a screenshot of a picture that you took, and you're like, "Hey, this week last or 5 years ago, we slayed them on X, Y, and Z," or whatever. So that's definitely a really good idea. I like the idea of a journal. I just don't think I could ever really keep up with it. But taking
Yeah, I'm
pictures and
not
doing stuff
organized
like
enough to
that.
do that.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
I
keep
use
in
my videos a lot for reference going back. A lot of times I try to
Yep.
make sure that I talk about the water temperature and it's going to be dated, talk about the watercolor, that kind of stuff. And obviously, the content's going to show what kind of baits I was throwing and kind of the locations, but it's a visual journal. But I kept a journal forever when I was younger, for like 5, 6, 7 years. I mean, I'd write like all
Wow,
the details down, and
that's
it's
awesome.
super
Nice.
helpful to go back and look at it.
And remember, it's just a general outline too, right? So like when
Mhm.
you look back at those pictures 2, 3, 4 years ago, current conditions obviously could be completely different. We might have winter that lasts a month longer.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a good way to keep in mind, like, okay, approximately this time of year, maybe if I know this year's been a little bit behind, okay, I'll wait a couple weeks and we're going to go hit this lake. Hopefully we have the same luck we had a few years ago. So, and oftentimes it's decently close. Tackle Maniac fishing with the $5 bomb. Thank you, brother. He said, I think it's lowering expectations of what you see on YouTube. Oh, absolutely, dude. I try to share the good days, the bad days. There's some people, it seems like they go out every trip, they're catching a new PB. I don't know how the hell these people do it, but they must have access to some crazy places.
Yep.
Said, not all YouTube content shows the skunk days. With that said, enjoy time on the water. Yeah, first and foremost, enjoy the time out there. If you're not having fun with it, what's the point of doing it? And even for me, I don't usually show a skunk day unless there's something like to learn or something funny in it, because nobody wants to watch a day of me going out and doing nothing, right? But if it's a day where I only catch a couple, there's things to be learned, I'll share that. Absolutely. If I think there's a story to be told or something to learn, hell yeah, I'll share that.
Same here. I do the same thing. I mean, I'd fish tournaments, and if I have a bad tournament, I show it. I'm not afraid to show it. I try to keep it real on my channel because everybody goes out there and has tough days, whether it's in a
That's
tournament
right.
or whether it's in a farm pond. It's just the fish don't always cooperate, and that's just keeping it real, man. That's the way it is.
So I got a quick question as it relates to tournaments and how you fish and things like that. Do you ever fish too many tournaments where it's not fun anymore?
Okay, that's an excellent question. Okay,
Jim in the
it can
house.
be
Hey, Jim.
difficult because you're going out there to catch. So tournament fishing versus fun fishing. Here's kind of my take on it. Fun fishing is going out there, testing out new baits, relaxing, and it's not so much about trying to put a solid pattern together and put the 5 best fish in the boat.
Hmm.
Tournament fishing is all about focusing on what's going on and trying to get the next bite. And you know, you're trying to put the biggest 5 in the boat. There's a difference, a total difference. And you can get burned out. You can lose the passion for fishing if you just tournament fishing. It becomes a job. I don't fish that many tournaments, but honestly, I'm kind of in the middle. That's why I'm probably not as good of a tournament fisherman as a lot of other people, because I still enjoy catching fish, even though I'm in a tournament.
Right.
And there's times when I'm more focused on actually getting the job done, but there's a lot of times where I'm in the middle of a tournament, but I'm still enjoying the day. You know, if it doesn't go like I want it, I'm okay with that. I used to really get mad. Like if I'd have a bad tournament, I would be really upset. I would stew on it. I mean, it still irks me a little bit, but I enjoy the day just as much as I do enjoying the tournament. But yeah, you can lose the passion for fishing if all you're doing is trying to catch the 5 biggest fish and that's all you care about. There's a lake over here that I fish in Southern Illinois that has a 14 to 18 inch slot, and I fish summer tournaments over there. And you can keep per boat, you can keep 2 over 18 and 2 under 14 or 3 under 14. It just depends on how hot the water is. When the water warms up, they limit it to 2 over and 2 under. In the cool water period, it's 2 over and 3 under. But you catch a lot of 17-inch fish, which is a 3.5 pound fish. And if you're so set on catching that over 18, you don't even respect those 17-inch fish, you're missing out. And me and my buddy Jonathan, that we do a live stream on Mondays at 7:30. He's the guy that's on here with me. He fishes the same lake. We've had the conversation about how we forget that we're catching nice quality 17 to 17 bass. And we're like, you know, you get the mindset, you're like, this isn't good enough because it's got to be over 18. But a lot of people would love to catch 17 to 17.5 inch bass that weigh 3 and 3.5 pounds. And we've got those kind of lakes over there. You don't catch them all the time, but I've gotten to where I'm starting to respect those slot fish. Look at them like they're not good enough because I'm fishing a tournament.
You know, I just wanted to ask, just because, you know, Debo, we've talked, you know, time and time again, like as you're trying to get footage for a video and I'm trying to record a bunch of stuff that I'm just going to throw on a hard drive. It's like we push ourselves. It's like we just need to catch a 5-pounder here and then 16 other fish and we're good for 5 videos and it's all perfect.
It's true. Yeah, there's no way in hell I could be a tournament fisherman. Like the amount of time you're on the road, the stress to catch fish, like it's already stressful enough to do YouTube videos, because if you're not out and you're not out catching, that's a burnt day. Like I work full time, you know, so I don't have unlimited time I can't, you know, fish 7 days a week. I get a couple days, you know, maybe 3 days a week to fish. So it's like, those are key times. You know, it's hard. So I couldn't imagine being a tournament guy and like literally you're making your money on it. That would be stressful as hell. I just like to catch fish. So yeah, I'm kind of like you. Like dude, if I could catch 3-pounders all day, that'd be amazing. I'd love it.
There's a correlation between creating content on YouTube and tournament fishing. So I think you guys could both relate to that. You're on the clock type of feel when you're really going out trying to create a video. There's pressure. There's pressure. You know, you may goof off for the first hour. You're like, oh, I'm going to try this new bait. And then, you know, it gets to where you've only got a couple hours left in the day. And you're like, I haven't caught anything and I really haven't learned anything. And I really don't have much to share. I need to kind of start focusing. That's kind of tournament fishing is kind of like that. And you get that same kind of feel.
That's usually when I kick Randy in or like throw something at his head, see how he reacts. It usually makes for a decent video. So
yeah,
I mean, I don't do that.
Props.
Richard with the $5 bomb. Looks like he's out on the ice there. Ice is done for us. Jackhammer is my magical lure. Yeah, that's a magical lure for a lot of people. I actually picked up a bunch on sale for like $8. So I want to throw them some more. I need to put more time in, but I magically make it. Oh, I should have read the rest of it. I magically make it disappear into a laydown, never to be seen again.
Yeah, they're bad around. Yeah,
I had a few of them I threw, and that's exactly what happened to mine. That's why I've gone to. Do I still have one here? Oh, I do. If you're a bank angler or you just hate getting snagged with the chatterbaits, I'm telling you, this is a game changer. I don't say that a lot, but for me, bank fishing, this thing was a savior. The cross eyes.
Have you seen that Rage Blade? The Strike King Rage Blade. It came out probably 5, 6, 7 years ago. It's a bladed jig / chatterbait, but it's got
weight on the bottom.
Yes, it's got a weird bill that comes through wood pretty good.
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that. And then the Booyah I think it's the Booyah. What's the Booyah one where the blade is in the head? I got 4 of them and 3 of mine didn't
Is it?
work,
Is
so I
it?
trashed
No,
them.
it's not this one. No,
No,
that's
it's not that one. Well, here, I'll bring it up real quick. But I've heard the same thing. Yeah, the Rage Blade, and I forget what it is, but I know a lot of people have loved it. I thought it sucked, and maybe I just got a bad bunch because 3 of mine were absolute garbage and wouldn't work. But
That's it right there, isn't it? Hizzle?
oh, I don't know.
I'm not quite sure
not.
what this one is.
Yeah, that's the Rage Blade.
Is this it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, there you
That's
go.
it.
Hey,
So
look at
there's
me.
one.
I'm like TJ
You're on top
or
of it.
Debo.
You knew exactly what we were going to talk about tonight. You
Yeah,
grabbed all the
Mr.
right
Prop
baits.
Man. Dang.
Well, I
Let's
was
see.
just telling Debo before we started. I'm like, I don't know what to do with all my jig type of stuff because I'm like, I got boxes and just boxes and boxes of like different type of jigs, and I'm
Oh, it was the
really I'm
Booyah
just sitting here
Melee.
kind of. Oh yeah.
Somebody was saying
I'll
a
share
Cinco
here
is a
real quick.
magical bait, and I would have to agree.
That's about as close to a magical bait as you can get. This was
It
the one I was
really
thinking
can
of.
be.
It's got like the
Oh
head, the
yeah.
blade is in the head, but like
Huh.
I just kept mine would get gunk stuck in there, and then like I said, 3 of them out of the package wouldn't even run, and it sucks because they look cool. I mean, like they got some
You
cool.
had to what was it? You had to take the no trailer at all, and they would run
On
right.
one of them. One of them I
Yeah.
could run no trailer and it worked, and the other 2 I couldn't get to work at all.
Jeez.
So I don't know, but they look cool. Just didn't work. Thought
How
they
much
kinda
are those?
stunk, but, I want to say like $8, $9
Okay.
maybe. $9.79.
Yeah, they need to run
And then
right.
see, I've heard other people say they're amazing and they've had really good luck on them, but I don't know. I'll stick with the cross eyes. All right, what do we got? Man, we are all over the place tonight, boys, and I love it. It's fun. What else do we got? I'm behind. I'm at 749. Of course, I'm already behind on comments. Fishing Bass Brazil. My brother from across the pond. Thanks for joining, man. Hey, there's Philip, good supporter, and all my members too. That take a moment to thank everybody that's become a member and help support the channel that way. I appreciate everybody seeing all the members and stuff in here. This is awesome, absolutely cool. Justin, actually, this is a pretty good one. Anybody use Bass Forecast? Is that the thing that we got, Randy? Yeah, Bass Forecast.
Well, I have a different one.
I do use Bass Forecast. I don't use it for because when you look at the days where it's like, I'll show you here when mine comes up. So it'll come up with like a rating to say, how's the day going to be? 2.5. It's supposed to say, it's supposed to be tough. I also don't use it for like the lure patterns because these never like really seem to change. However, what I really do like it for is showing sunup, sundown,
seashells.
Yes, down by the seashore, and it shows the major and minor times, which is really cool. We've tried to time around that more, and that's something a lot of musky anglers do.
What do you think about
like
that? Do you believe in that, the minor and the major?
I feel like, because fish, I feel like in certain times and in certain spots, not always, obviously not all fish turn on, but I feel there is something to be had to that because there'll be times where we'll go on a run where it seems like they've turned on. And it's not always on the minor and major, but I feel like there might be something to it. You can kind of get a fish to react, but I feel like there's certain times where they're maybe more apt to do that. I don't know. It could all be complete junk, and I don't know.
I think there's something to it.
Time in.
I think there's something to it. Here's something that's kind of interesting. If you guys ever watch the Major League Fishing, like the BPT, there'll be a long lull where nobody's catching. You got like 25 of the best anglers in the world. Nobody's catching fish. And then all of a sudden, everybody starts catching fish.
Same for MLF. Yeah, watch
if there's
that.
a way to track whether that
on.
was a minor or major, I would love to know.
That's a good point. Yeah, that is a really good point. That would be cool to see it linked. Let's see. I know we've got a couple other donations in here. I don't want to miss anybody that's donated. I appreciate that a ton. Hey, there's Mr. Rich.
Hey, Rich. Good to see you, buddy.
Rich, you can jump in here too if you want. I was going to invite
I think.
TJ in, but said he was just getting home from work.
And he's a nerd too, so
he's a fishing nerd. Let's see. I know there were some more donations here. I don't think
while you're looking for that, Debo, just just so happens to be that this showed up in my tackle box right here. This was the lure that outfished your face. It's just a little swim jig, a little. I think this is big Kitex, or I'm not sure what it is, but this was the lure that I was like, dude, throw on a bluegill-ish type lure and like a swim jig and dominate their faces off. And you're like, no, I'm not gonna do it because
That was the 12-2 swim jig.
yeah, that was the one that really got after him that day.
Carol Ferg. Is it Carol or Caro? I'm assuming Carol, right? I think people have said it both ways. Always supporting all of our channels. We appreciate you. Skunked crappie fishing. Went for bass. Won. So something. Pre-spawn is on here. Woot. Oh, man. I can't wait for some pre-spawn, some bass moving up. I don't care if they're 12 inches or 12 pounds. I just want to get out. I don't even know if I remember how to cast a bait caster. It feels like it's been so long I've been out. All I know how to do is this in little 10-inch holes on the ice. The only thing I have down right now. And it always feels weird. Like the first time you go out after ice out, it's like, the hell am I doing? Got to learn it all over again.
I was telling you, Debo, the first day I went out, I sent you a text about my one reel. It was like those slingshot straight into the water casts. I was like, what am I doing with my life right now?
Here's a good one. So I had somebody who's, I believe, a supporter. So I don't know if this was sarcastic. I didn't read into it. I am way behind on commenting on YouTube videos too, like way behind. And I feel like a prick because I used to take pride in getting back to everybody. So I need to take a day of just sitting on my computer and replying. But somebody said that popped up. Okay, said, wait, what? A medium light bait caster? Ha ha ha! Faces like, what are you talking about? So I just released my top 5 spring baits, and one of which is a jerk bait. And for the smaller jerk baits, like I would say 3/8 of an ounce, I really like this Lew's TP1X medium light. Now I wouldn't say it's like a medium light spinning rod, and that's the difference. I think people correlate those, but with a smaller bait or a smaller bait caster, a smaller jerk bait like that, it loaded that so nice. And that was actually, I watched a Seth Fighter video of him up in either Minnesota or Michigan. I forget where he was at, but it was like a tournament, cuts and pieces, and he was talking about jerk baits. And I was like, man, I've never went below a medium. And I saw that TP1X. It's a Topwater jerkbait rod. It's made specifically for it. I guess we can bring it up here. And I was like, dude, this thing loads so easy. And when you get them, I was at this. We're going off on all sorts of side quests. I was just talking to somebody at a rod company who makes rods for a living, and we were talking about this same thing of generally people go too heavy a lot of the time on rods. They'll just grab a medium heavy, okay, and throw everything under the sun on it, right? And I think that's just kind of the thing of like, most companies make a medium heavy. I'm going to go out and make a medium heavy. That's the best thing for fishing, right? So anyway, we've completely gone all around the question here. But hey, Debo, hey, what do you got?
This is it. This is the rod you're talking about. This is my jerkbait rod.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Do a full screen, Debo.
Yep.
It's
sorry,
a custom
I'm
light.
switching.
It's a custom light, but it's a 6'8" Topwater jerkbait rod by Lew's, medium light.
That's it. I've got the white one. Yeah, I've got the mine's just. I think mine's like a downgraded. That's the new $99. I think those were a little bit more.
Yeah, these are high, but it's the same. You're right, man. This thing throws like the little SP78s, or the little 78 millimeter
SP71 or whatever. The Lucky Craft.
It does a really good job of throwing those lighter jerk baits.
Dude, it loads so well. You put like 10 or 12 pound fluoro on there, and the other thing is like once you get them pinned, because you have to remember with a jerk bait, especially like the jerk bait that I was recommending. Let me go back to sharing real quick. The jerk bait that I was recommending that I've really liked the past couple of years, or one of them, I should say. There's a ton of good ones out there, but it's the I'm a Flit. And the I'm a Flit and a lot of other jerk baits, unless you get into the bigger like Mega Bass or like the 6 Sense Provoke, those larger ones will have like a size 4. But a lot of the smaller finesse jerk baits have a size 6 hook on them. Mm-hmm. And if you're trying to wrench a horse a fish in with a medium heavy rod with little size 6 treble hooks, that's how you're either ripping them out or you're losing fish. You're not going to have that absorption, that shock absorption. because the easiest way to lose a fish is a straight rod. When you put slack in the line and you give that fish any amount of slack, it's the easiest way to lose a fish. But this is the one I was talking about. 6/8 medium light. But you notice it's up to a 1/2 ounce lures. It's not a medium light spinning rod. It's a completely different thing. Yeah, exact same combo you're fishing.
It's a great rod. I mean, that if somebody is wanting to get a good jerkbait rod or a little like a light crankbait, like a 3/8 ounce crankbait, like a little Bandit 200
yes.
series, some of the little flat sided crankbaits that are hard to cast, it works great for that. It's a multi-purpose rod. Little poppers, it does a good job with little poppers.
Yeah, any sort of finesse, smaller lures like that. Absolutely. And then I was going to say, so for baits in the, I'll just go, this is what I was talking about. When you've got a smaller jerkbait like that with little size 6 hooks, and I think it even says on here, number 6 owner hooks. Like you can't just be horse and fish in. So, so Josh, sorry to go completely around the question and back to it. Do you prefer cranking and jerkbaits medium fast or medium heavy moderate? Generally, most of the time, I'm going to go with a medium power rod, but it depends. Like there's one time, and you guys probably have times that you prefer something different. When I'm throwing like a 1/2 ounce lipless and I'm, stroking it or yo-yoing a lipless, I like a little bit heavier rod because if I get stuck in grass or if I'm popping that all day and I've got like a real noodly rod, to me, it's harder to do it. But I'm also going to go with a line that's got a little bit of stretch. So I usually run a Copal or a mono when I'm doing that. So everybody's got their own things. But generally for me, most of the time I'm going a medium unless, I'm going bigger or deeper diving, something like that. But for just most of the time, a square bill, usually medium. But I guess square bill actually would be one of those times too. If you're going with like a 2.5 square bill, I will go with a medium heavy too. Because if you get a fish in the brush on a 2.5 square bill, usually they've got bigger hooks, size 2, short shank, it can handle it. But it depends. There's a lot of factors. Like Gabe said before, there's a lot of factors to some of this.
Yeah, the medium heavy rod, man, like a 7-foot medium heavy rod is so multi-purpose. I've got like most of my rods are like 7-foot medium heavy, and you can do all kinds of stuff with them. They're super versatile. If like a guy was only gonna have 5 rods, I would almost say 3 of them need to be medium heavies.
Oh, I agree. The other thing too is you can switch your line out. You can kind of change that a little bit. A 7-foot medium heavy with braid is going to do a lot of stuff different, or you can fish a lot of stuff different than you would a 7-foot medium heavy with mono.
Yep.
Right. 2 completely different ways you can attack that and make the most out of what you've got. Oh, I told you there was going to be a bunch of side quests and conversations tonight.
Somebody says,
Felix,
what happens when you throw topwater in 30 to 40 degrees? I don't know if you saw that one. It's crazy.
No. What was it?
It was Japan USA. What happens?
Oh, Japan USA.
Throw topwater in 30 to 40 degree water. You don't get bit usually. I mean,
yeah, usually you're just practicing. Casting.
Yeah, it's tough because there's no like magical, and I maybe he's just asking to see like what time do you start throwing topwater. There's not a magical thing because it's funny. I was going to say earlier when you were talking about the creek channels running into a lake on the northish side of the lake with the creek channel and that muddier water. Dad and I always go back to that. And Dad and I had a crazy day where it was dirty, muddier water. It was kind of had some of this like, I wouldn't say mossy stuff, but like, I don't know what it was, some sort of vegetation. It was like the first stuff coming up. But this spot was like 5 degrees warmer than everything else. There was so much brush. You couldn't really throw like treble hook baits. I tied on a frog and Dad's like, what the hell are you doing tying on a frog? And we ended up slaying him. We both switched to a frog. But it was cold. We were bundled up and it was early in the year. I want to say April, and we crushed them. And I've never had a day like that early where it was like 50 something degrees. Usually for me, like 60 degrees is kind of my mark ish where topwater is going to start turning on. And it can be, before that. And
in the fall, I've caught them. You can catch them like at 48 degree water pretty consistently. Like you can legitimately go out and pattern fish in 48 to 50 degree water on a frog or toad.
I think that's a big thing right there because there's a huge difference between 48 degrees in the spring and 48 degrees in the winter or in the fall.
Nailed it.
Fall has always been like, go to. I would throw it all the time, and God, that's just a perfect point. It just popped in my head. It's like so crazy to think that, going into the fishing season, 48 degrees is so much different than, going out of the season.
Mm-hmm. Agree 100%.
Yes.
You can have those days. I mean, theoretically, if the fish are up shallow, like they're in a foot of water for whatever reason, and you put something over the top of them and you're letting it sit, they can come up and grab it. I mean, I've heard of people
Sure.
catching fish in 37-degree water on Topwater, but it's definitely not something that you're going to go out and consistently do, but there are times.
Felix, okay, caught a dink in the rain today. Still stoked on a hog I caught earlier in the week. Oh, yes. New to the channel and loving it and the lives. Keep it up, Debo. Well, Felix, thanks for the donation and being a new member. Appreciate it. Yeah, dude, any sort of fish is a good day, especially when you get off that rush of catching a big fish. It's funny how you'll go back and just relive that. Same if you lose a big fish, it'll haunt you for like weeks. Same thing if like you catch a really good one, man. It's just like you go back and living it over. And it's like, oh, it's such a good time, such a good catch. Gramps in the house. Gramps, how are you, brother? Chris says, who's the guy with me and Dizzle? This is Gabe, 10 Horse Monty. He's also got a channel. Gabe, I'll link his stuff down below. He's got a good channel. Gramps said people don't watch the videos with no catches, just the way it goes. Yeah, unless there's like a good story. I don't usually do that, but if it's a slow day or whatever, hell, we'll share it. We were just talking about that. Maybe that's because I'm 15 minutes behind.
I thought I caught. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna, kind of jump back to your comment, Debo, of the, riding that high on a good catch versus, things like that. There was that last year where we were fishing, that weed line that was out there with like a spinner bait, just taking it right off the top of it. And I hooked what I thought to be my PB and I lost it. And like, I still can't get that out of my head. And I want to go there. Like, I want to go out there and break up all of the ice right now. If there's any ice left out there, like I'll do like cannonball in there and just break it all up just so I can try to fish it again. And maybe that fish is still there waiting for me,
Like the polar bear plunge.
Yeah, right.
Scott with the $5 bomb. Scott, thank you very much. Appreciate you. I will be doing a giveaway here in just a little bit. We've got a free giveaway, and then I'm doing a separate giveaway for anybody that's donated tonight because I appreciate y'all, and I want to try to do a couple. I've got a couple of my custom painted baits. I'll throw in some other lures, and then I think I've got some extra Tackle Warehouse shirts, so hopefully I've got your size. Jeff Elliott with the $10 bomb. Jeff, thank you. Another great Saturday night. Keep up the awesome work, boys. Jeff, I shall try. Thank you for the donation, man.
You got some good viewers on here.
Dude, we have
every weekend.
Awesome. Yeah, we've got an awesome group of folks that follow. Like Randall Pink Floyd, he likes to give me crap with, he likes to give Randy crap with me a lot. But he did say, can't wait for Dizzle's review of his bearing swap. I am interested to see what you think of it, Randy. Gabe, have you ever switched out any bearings or done anything to like aftermarket stuff?
I have not. What'd you think, Randy? Did it make a big difference?
Like so far, I've literally just been sitting here doing this for quite a while.
It's like a fidget spinner.
Yeah, I was thinking
I keep one with me all day for work. I do that all day.
Right. The biggest thing about this so far is Debo. I don't remember which reel it was, but it had ceramic bearings in it, and it was so loud every single time I casted
that was this one.
It.
The one that you borrowed from me, that was that concept. Yeah, those orange seal bearings.
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of loud.
I thought that one was so loud. Yeah, and it kind of bummed me out. Didn't make me want to, fish them and things like that. But this is like, man, this thing feels amazing. I'm probably going to have to.
Interesting to try. Scott was saying what I did with them, but Scott's come out with those over at Spool Speed, the XCR, XJR or something, but they're supposed to be a lot quieter than the regular, because that is one drawback to, whatever company you go with, Boca bearings, Hedgehog, just regular old orange seals, they're louder. A hybrid bearing is louder, but you can run them completely dry, which is a nice thing. Yeah, there you go. What's it say on the back?
These XCR.
XCR.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it was crazy, like the instant I mean, because Debo, just like taking a pike off a hook for me, it changed these schools out, So
I love pike fishing. Gabe, did you get to do any pike fishing down there?
We have chain pickerel,
Oh,
which are like a
they're like
smaller
little.
version of a
They're like
pike.
little pike, yeah.
like a baby pike, yeah.
Little
Exactly, like a
baby
baby
pike.
pike. Grass pike. We
I
call
will
them grass
take
pike.
I will take big old 30, 40-inch slimy, stinky pike. Oh, I love
Oh.
them. Especially topwater. Dude, they are so freaking fun.
And they are fun, but I've lost so many lures to them, and they just
Yeah.
I get that. Yep.
We have
Ooh.
muskie down here. We have like a world class muskie.
There you
fisherman,
go.
Kincaid.
Yeah. Those are like bit. I was just making fun of the pickerel. I wasn't making fun of them. But yeah, you want to talk about fish that get big. Holy crap.
Yes.
The old muskellunge is a daggum freshwater shark.
I've
What were you
got
going to show there, Gabe? Did you have some more stuff you were going to show and tell? I like show and tell. I like seeing what
Yes.
other people use and do. And
I'll show
I'm a
you.
nerd. This is fun.
I'll show you some. I'll show you a couple things real quick. We were talking about muskie, and here's a bait that I will not throw in that lake that has muskie. And this is my first actual legitimate JDM glide / crankbait that I have.
You go full
And
screen
this
on
is
that,
from
Oh yeah, sorry.
Dream
Thank you,
Express
Andy.
Lures, and this is called the Pinky Deluxe. So Jun Shoji lives in Japan. He was on our live stream a while back. He's a lure designer with Dream Express Lures, and he came up with this swim bait. It's a 3-piece swim bait. Unique thing about this is it has a removable bill. Right now it's a crankbait. It comes with 2 different bills. This one right here, I think it dives down to about 8 feet, and then he has another one that's a shallower diver, and it actually, the second bill will flip around, so it almost makes it a wake bait, or it makes it dive down to about 6 foot. But this bill is about an 8 foot. But you can take this bill and you can pop it like that, and it's removable.
That looks like the same bill as the Clash. The Clash does the same thing. The DRT Clash. I've got some of those. I don't know.
Really?
If I have. Yeah.
Now it's a glide bait. It's a floater. So
Is that tail removable too?
The tail's removable, yes.
That looks very similar. I wonder if he made that. I wonder if DRT or who knows who copied who or whatever, if they took designs from each other. And
I'm not sure.
it's interesting though.
Yeah. But he said you have to put like the suspend strips on each part of the segment. Like there's 3 parts. You have to put suspend strips to get it to basically suspend. And he told me the exact grams. Those Japanese anglers are like super dialed in on weights,
right?
To the
like
microgram and everything.
How nervous were you the first time you went to pop that bill off?
I was very nervous. He was actually on. He was actually on a Zoom call and was telling me how to do it, and I thought it was gonna break it. He's like, "No, just keep popping, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna screw this up." Yeah,
golly.
but it actually it comes in and out pretty good once you pop it off.
Yeah,
it's cool though, man. I've only thrown it twice because the water's still pretty stained around here.
Sure.
It's got a nasty action. I mean, it's like 9 inches long, so it's a pretty big bait. You can't tell it on the stream.
And I can tell it's a big one.
I put a swivel on it too, because these things are notorious for kind of air biscuiting out. This one's a little better than like an S-Waver. An S-Waver is really bad at spinning. But
yeah, I know exactly what you're saying about, there's those areas that have pike, and I'm just like, man, yeah. I know there's bass here, or I know there's, fish there, and I'm just not going to throw this lure because it's going to get bitten off, and that's going to be my life. And
exactly.
So frustrating.
I got to agree with this. I've also thought that before, Gabe. Do you get that a lot?
I've got that. And Keith Combs, professional bass fisherman, Keith Combs.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
To
me, I thought that before when I saw your stuff.
I've been at tournaments. Like we fished the Toyota Series tournament, and all the Toyota guys are there, like Gerald Swindle and Ott Defoe. And I've had a couple times I've had them come up and say, "You look just like Keith Combs."
That's funny as hell.
My response is, I wish I fished like Keith Combs, because I'd be standing up there with you guys. Not delivering mail.
The Inquisitive Prince says the Berkeley Pit Boss Best lure of all time. Thanks for your donation, brother. Dude, it is one of my top old school favorite baits. It is an awesome bait. Speaking of baits, I did grab one of these. This is so in my kind of one of my other fishing endeavors is I paint crankbaits. So these are the blanks. They come out to match the Clash, which is the same thing. So it's got the bill that comes out. The bill looks very
See, that one looked like it
very
came off
similar.
so much easier than the other
Well, the thing
one.
is, when you take them off, is you kind of tilt it in there,
Yeah.
like kick it to the side. Because
Mhm.
for the long time,
Sure.
the longest time, I tried to like pull it out straight, and the easier thing is to like take these and just push it to the side.
I wish we
And,
lived next to each other because we could do like a side by side comparison.
Oh, dude, yeah, that'd be cool. But see, this is just a one piece, but this mimics. Yeah, look up the DRT Clash.
Okay.
And then the cool thing with these is the tail's removable, and then you can either flip it up, and it has a different action when it's like this, or you can flip it over the other way, and I forget which does which, but you can mess and give it different actions, or you can just fish it like a glide, fish it like that with the glide. You can do different things. So I know these were hot for a long time. I
Similar
just got
bait.
some more in. Yeah, you couldn't find the blanks, but finally got some in. Okay, let's see. Where are we at? Man, we are an hour in. We're going to have to do a giveaway here in a second.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you want to bust one of those out here, and
we can do that. We can do the free giveaway here, and then we'll do a donation giveaway here in a second. I thought I saw another question here. Oh, Ralph, Army Outdoors. Thank you for the donation, brother. Said chatterbait and crankbaits have been doing it for me. Eight fish band crappies so far. Going out again tomorrow. 70 degrees and sunshine. Oh man, I'm jealous. I think we're supposed to be in the 50s tomorrow.
yeah, I think it's going to be pretty decent.
We got
Ralph,
70s
always
here
appreciate
tomorrow.
you. Dang.
Yeah.
You know, the cool thing is too, is like the number of people I see on my channel versus like I'll go to Gramps or like all these other channels, and there's so many people that support all of them.
Yep.
That's what I love.
Ooh, Chris
with
Russ
the
says
donation as well?
70. Chris Russ says 70 tomorrow here.
Really?
So, yeah. So just in case you can't go out tomorrow, just know I'm going to be having so much fun with my shorts on and t-shirt. Probably catching fish.
Oh, we'll see. Maybe it'll be later. I got Vidya stuff I have to get done. Dang it. Chris Davis with the $2 bomb. Chris, thank you. Hey, Tyler's in here. Hook sets are free.
Rich, did you see Rich's suggestion there? He said I should give away a 10 horse Monty t-shirt.
Do you have some?
Yeah, I do. I got a couple. I got some larges and some extra large. So I'll do that. I'll throw in one of these to the winner of the giveaway. As long as you can fit in a large or an extra large. I can't help you if you're bigger than that.
Limited sizes. If you're over that, can't help you out there.
So, yeah, definitely. I like being part of the show.
Cool. Yeah, you don't need to do that, but I appreciate it. Absolutely. I can switch you. I've got a bunch of Tackle Warehouse shirts here if you want one.
I've got a couple too. Also.
I figured so.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, let's do the free giveaway. I'm probably gonna miss a whole bunch of stuff here because once I do the giveaway, the chat lights up with hashtags here. But
mediums.
Let's see. Giveaway tool. Gotta always thank Gramps for showing me this. It makes my life so much easier.
335 in here right now. How many are we shooting for to actually run it, Debo?
Oh, we're running it. We're over 300. That's freaking awesome. We're gonna do
how many entries? I'm saying.
Oh, I don't know. We'll get 200 entries for sure. So it's gonna be hashtag
Big
testing. Hashtag testing, because as I said before, if you're just joining, we're doing 2 giveaways. If I can share a screen here, what's going on? There we go. Okay. So as I said before, if you're just joining, I'm going to do a giveaway. I'm going to give you a custom Debo painted lure. You get a pick. I've got a couple poppers here, and then one that's supposed to. One that's broke.
That's why you don't put hooks on them.
Look like I use 2-part epoxy on these, so it's nice and tough. You get to pick one of these, and then I'm also doing a giveaway for the other 2 for somebody who donated. So for this first one, you don't have to donate or anything. Get to pick a lure. I'll throw in a Tackle Warehouse shirt, and I'll throw in some tackle. And then here in a little bit, we'll do a giveaway for somebody here randomly who donated, because I appreciate all the people that donate every week, and I want to try to give back. But I want it to be a free giveaway too. I don't want it to be only pay per play. So
Right. Can I just jump on a tiny little
Yeah,
soapbox here
absolutely.
for a
What do
second?
you got?
So, it hasn't been brought up yet, and we're over an hour in, so I got to bring up the old Guggen topic. I sent you a text earlier. Well, actually, this was probably a few days ago. I sent you a text, and I was like, um, I threw some. So this Tatula, I actually put
Tatula.
12. The Tatula, I put 12-pound Guggen floral on here, and I was like, 12 pound. That's clutch. Whatever. It's gonna work out. One of the first casts, I just, totally send a underspin. I don't know, probably up onto a major busy highway because I was fishing near a bridge. Like it just snapped off like nothing. And I'm like, what the? Maybe it was twisted. Maybe it was blah, blah, blah. Maybe it was this or that. So I'm out fishing tonight before this starts. And, if I'm holding my reel like this, at about this length, I got a snag and I'm pulling on it, trying to, pop it. And I figure it's going to break somewhere near the lure. It breaks off maybe 7 inches from my actual reel. So, long story short, I literally, like, that's the worst floral I've ever used before in my life. It doesn't have really any durability whatsoever that I've seen. Granted, there's, questionable soft plastics and things like that with durability, but this if anybody's thinking about going with Guggen floral or Guggen line, don't don't waste your money on it. I feel like it was kind of expensive too for what I could have
And
gotten with some.
that's a good what's the word testament
PSA.
because
Yeah.
Randy's a Guggen fanboy. He uses pretty much Guggen everything when we go
I
out. I think he's even tried out to be on the Guggen squad. So for him to say that he doesn't like something Guggen I was surprised when he said it.
Jesus.
Nice
Anyway,
real fishing. So public service announcement. Save your money, right?
yeah,
PSA, don't
just
buy the
save
Guggen
your
line.
money. Get some. I will say the Seagar. What is it? The basics.
Yes, I was going to
Yeah,
ask you
did you
about
like
that.
it?
Seagar, like the 15-pound that
I'll
I've
tell
been
you another
using
line not to get.
has been pretty amazing.
Cool.
I haven't had any issue with it. I pulled that 12-pound Guggen off of there, and I know I have 12-pound basics that I'm going to throw on at some point in time tonight, and I'm pretty excited about it. It seems like good line.
That
What do you think
stuff was
about that,
garbage
Debo?
for me.
It's
Hated
garbage.
it. Garbage. Yeah, I broke
Yeah.
off. I don't know how many times. I think I
Was that
bought 3 of these and I spooled up 2 reels. And then Berkeley,
the
I don't even know if they sell it anymore. Let's look. I guess I'm
Solutions?
sharing the other one. But yeah, Solutions
I
Florida is
thought you
supposed
were
to be like
gonna.
their price point stuff. And I was excited because I'm like, oh, yeah.
I bought a
No, that
couple
sucked.
spools of that basics, and I haven't thrown them yet. So I was. It's good to hear that. I wasn't
I
sure
got
if
some
it
of
was
that
any
too.
good.
It feels like it's a little stiffer than your higher dollar fluoros, but like um it's worked out amazing so far. I
Yeah,
haven't had any
they
issues.
don't even sell it anymore. I don't see it on Tech Warehouse. There had to have been something wrong with it because in the 2 spools that I got, I kept breaking off.
I thought you were gonna pull out that braid, was it the 4-strand
Oh
Power
god,
Pro?
that Dominate whatever braid from Amazon. That stuff was awful.
Oh no, that you God, what was it? We were out at Shields and you were like, "Oh, I need some
Oh,
braid. Let me
the
buy
Max
this."
Quattro. That was expensive stuff. I
Yeah,
got the
and you
50
broke
pound. It
off
was not good for
constantly.
hard hook sets. Not good for hard hook sets. But I heard a lot of
Devo
people say like
handle
the
breaking hook
smaller.
sets.
I have broke handles. For the smaller, like more finesse stuff, like the 20, 15 pound, people said it's amazing. So, which I don't doubt. I mean, the dude, it casted amazing. I was really let down, but the 50 pound that I got for frogging just did not hold up. Not to
Really,
my
it frayed really
Herculean hook
bad, or what?
sets. I don't know. I kept breaking off on hook sets on
It
frogs.
broke.
I had like 4 frog hook set, bro. One of which could have been a PB. It was, dude. I saw this giant wake hit it and right on
Was
the
I
hook
there
set.
for that one?
Oh no! I think I sent you a video of it, but
Oh yeah,
Kumanda
that
Mike's
one.
fishing. Yeah, that one. I've had fish jumping everywhere and got skunked. Dude, don't feel bad. So have I. There have been times where, and I can't figure out if it's pike eating stuff, and I literally can't get them to eat, or if it's, smaller bass like schoolie bass. But there's been times where, yeah, we've seen. There was a day last year, Randy, where we were fishing out at night, or, right when the sun was going down, and there was so much activity. I've had it happen here too, Lake McBride. Like, dude, Lake McBride will be going nuts with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if there's just
fall a lot.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
they've had from spring all summer long into fall. They've seen 1,000 different baits, and they start schooling. They get really keyed in on a certain size bait fish. And I've had 3, 4, 5 pounders like 10 feet from the boat, and I cannot get them to bite anything. It's super frustrating. So
the thing is too is there's because there's a lake that we go here too. I actually just saw my buddy Brando. He donated too. Thanks, Brando. I'll get to that here in a second because I have to find you in here to bring it up. But there was a day we were out on a local lake. I was in my little aluminum kayak. He was in his, and there was he has like some of the fancier electronics. But I mean, there were schools of shad for 100-yard stretch. Like I don't know how you could catch fish in that. I mean, they've got so much real food. Dude, it was insane. So yeah, there's days I get stumped like that too. We've got 178 entries. Come on, guys, let's get this up to 200. We've still got 360 people watching almost. Crazy.
Banging, boys, banging. Asian carp jump. I saw somebody talking about do carp jump. Asian carp jump for sure.
Oh man, carp.
Oh yeah, carp jump.
Grass carp do the whale breach sideways like.
Yeah.
I tell you what, the craziest thing that I've experienced, and I ran into a lot last year, is beaver. They make the biggest, scariest, like slap pop on the water with their tail.
Oh yeah,
Randall's always running into some beaver.
I caught all.
They do
beaver today, pretty much. It's a good bait. Very solid bait. Yeah, they'll scare the crap out of you though, especially like right at dark.
Oh yeah,
yeah. You can't really see. It sounds like a cannonball. Like it sounds like somebody threw a cannonball and it's like.
It is a very different sound than like a bass hitting something on the top water or something like that. I feel like they're going to be pretty mean too. I don't want to accidentally hook up with one.
Yeah, I almost hooked. That actually didn't even make it into a video. I didn't do the bloopers of 2021. I never even got around to that video. But there was a night Randy and I were out, and I didn't even see it. But I casted. I was fishing a shoreline, casted, and a great blue heron flew into my line, and it was like I was like, it was reeling out drag. It was like trying to get on. I'm like, oh no, please! And luckily the hook popped out. I was fishing a spinnerbait.
Oh geez.
I'm like, I do not want to have to deal with.
I caught a bat.
Blue heron.
I caught a bat one time in Colorado. I was fly fishing.
Oh,
what?
Yeah, I was, just kind of getting my fly out there.
And they just
it grabbed it, and I'm sitting here. So I've got this bat has a fly in its wing, and I'm flying it around in circles on a fixed piece of line, just going around and around and around. And it finally got so tired and wore out that it couldn't fly, and it just landed on the levee of this lake, and it just sat there. And then I had to figure out how to get the fly out of the bat. And I don't like bats. I mean, I don't really care for bats, but I had some hemostats, and I got as far away as I could, and I just grabbed that fly and I just plucked it off. And that bat just sat there for like 10 minutes, and I kind of quit paying attention to it. And when I thought about it, I turned around and it was gone.
Yeah, what do they say? They can't take off from the ground. They got to like basically fall off of something to be able to start flying again, right?
It took off somehow because it was gone, unless it crawled off. I don't know. We were way out in the mountains.
Muskie probably ate it.
Could have been Muskie. Yeah.
Pima 623 with $5 bomb. Thank you, brother. I said, if you need a beta tester, Debo, I'm only a couple hours away. I didn't realize you were that close, man. Well, thank you for supporting. I didn't realize are you in Iowa? I guess I didn't realize that. You're always in here. Thank you, dude. There's Brando, the man, the myth, the legend. Brando's a good guy. Essentially built my website for me. Also another really good fishing friend here. Looking forward to fishing with you, buddy. Absolutely. Looking forward to fishing with you too, man. Here's the question. What's your favorite baits for 35 to 45 degree water? Well, actually, just talking about that, I was going back and looking at pictures from the past couple years. And there's a lake, the lake, that hopefully we can get on a good boat jerkbait bite where it's like automatic. You're catching fish off. Yeah, right there.
Oh, okay.
Can I?
I believe I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah,
There we go.
jerkbait. Not necessarily
yeah.
a mega bass, but
Dude, you
they're all
got.
good, man.
I don't have. I've only got a couple mega basses. Tyler, hook sets are free, is in here. Hook me up with some.
I have two.
And G Fan. I don't know that I've seen. Oh,
This is
speak
good.
of the devil. I was just gonna say I don't know that I've seen G Fan in here tonight. But he hooked me up with some G Fan. That was too nice of you. But yeah, those are good ones. What was the silver one?
This is a Strike King, the KVD.
Oh, okay,
really
yeah.
good.
Those are underrated.
They are very
Also,
underrated.
You know, another one that nobody talks about anymore that I caught the most fish off of just because they were cheap. And I was never like a really good jerkbait fisherman. The past few years, I put more time into it. But...
This is my favorite though. Spromic stick.
Oh yeah. I've got a couple of those.
I love the Spromic stick. Excellent jerkbait.
Where is it? Yes, definitely jerkbaits. Here we go. Who remembers these? And who never talks about these anymore? That's going to be really loud, probably. Hold on.
Oh, yeesh.
Husky rat? Husky
What do you
jerk.
got there, Debo?
Is it a husky jerk? I was just taking a wild guess.
Yeah, I was going to try to get it undone. This is not working, so you're going to see the bait gob. But these, dude, these are money, and they're still cheap. You can find them on sale a lot. The old husky jerk.
It's a good one.
Nobody talks about them anymore. I don't know.
I started throwing
That's not
actual
cool.
rogue, you know, the rattling rogue this year.
Yeah.
I've got so many
Smith
different jerk baits that I got away from the rogue, and that's a fish catcher too. It's a little bit tricky to throw. You can throw it really good on that jerk bait rod you're talking about that you just got.
Yes, that's one of those that's a perfect example that doesn't want to load or doesn't cast the best.
Yes.
Doesn't want
Here's
to.
another one. Randy's had really good days on these. I know Randy likes this, whatever this is, those ones that have the little Rapalas at ripstop.
The little.
Yeah, ripstop.
Oh, ripstop.
I believe
I've
so.
watched you have some really good days on those. You got this
I've
little
never
tail
thrown
back
those.
to your thing here. I have not had a good day on one yet. Oh, and actually, this is one of my other favorites in this color. 6 cents provoke and that 4K shad.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's so bright, but that's another really good one. So yeah, jerkbait, suspending jerkbait, flat side crankbaits, and a lipless are probably my top 3, I would say. Specifically, something in a shade of red. This is like an orange red or a gold or silver. Here's actually an old cotton cordell. Lipless
So
like that.
Oh yeah.
So what you got?
I do gotta say, you mentioned 13 fishing a second ago. These are the third. Where am I at here? Okay, 13 fishing. God, what are these even called? These are the rabbit ear tail.
Rabbit
and
deer
so they're
tail.
rabbit ear tail. So they're kind of a. I really like the color. God, they're super slippy too. The double color, and it's I don't know what the scent is, but according to the package, it is donkey sauce.
It's super mega certified. That's good to see. Did you see that?
Yeah,
it's super mega certified on there.
There is.
And max buoyancy with donkey sauce. So I'm kind of excited to see what these do.
Can I show one? Can I show one more? Oh,
absolutely. Yeah, Brando. Another one is just slow rolling a swim bait.
Heck yeah.
Slow rolling a swim bait, or if you want to go old school, slow rolling a grub. Nobody throws the grubs anymore.
No, yeah, nobody throws a grub anymore. It still works.
All right, what you got, Gabe? And I think
this right here. This right here. Okay, so in that cold water,
we need 5 people. 5 more people enter. 200.
A shaky head is like one of my go-tos. A jerkbait and a shaky head. And this right here, you may not have ever seen this. This is made by Crocogator Bait Company. They're a local bait company.
By
Crocogator?
Crocogator.
Crocogator?
Crocogator Bait Company. They're Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri. And this is called the beaver bug.
Oh, that's what are those ones?
Helgamite.
Yes.
I was just gonna say it looks like a helgramite mixed with a beaver, mixed with a crawfish.
And this paddle tail, it's got a lot of action when you're reeling it. But the cool thing about this, in cold water, I've just got this is a 1/4 ounce Cumberland Pro shaky head with like a 3/8 or a 3/0 round bend hook. But when you throw this thing out, and you just kind of shake your line. See those little legs? You're not actually,
yeah.
you don't even have to really move the bait. You can throw it out and just
Subtle
kind of
movement.
shake your slack, and they do this in the water. It's pretty crazy. But this is like a sneaky little bait that not a lot of people throw.
I've
And
never seen anything like that. That's
it's
awesome.
deadly. It looks weird, but if you take this thing out and throw it a couple times, you'll be like, okay, it looks right after you throw it a few times. It's a good one.
Where'd
They
you
got a
get 'em
bunch of
at?
different colors. I think they have them on Tackle Warehouse.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Let's look here. I'll look.
If not,
Let's
you
do a
can go to-
giveaway and then we'll look. We'll nerd out on some baits here. Are we at 200 yet? Oh, you guys, come on. We've got 381 people, almost 400. I don't know that we've ever topped 400.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. But we need 200 people to enter. We've got hashtag testing. If you do that,
Testies.
you're entered to win.
1, 2.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Hashtag testing. We need 3 more people. We get to 200 and I'm drawn.
Come on, folks.
Debo, I bet
Brando,
you, like,
I've got some Ned rigs for you too, Brando. That's another good one.
Yeah, Ned rigs are
I
good.
had you on that list for a minute.
Oh, show.
Jig Squad in here. What's up, Jig Squad? Oh, Hellabass. Yeah, talking about fluorocarbons. Red Label used to be mine and Randy's favorite. Then they upped the price. I think it's like, what, $13 or $14 now? So hopefully that Basics is just as good. The Sunline Assassin, good budget. What's the Sunline that I like? Does I think Rich said it was okay, but you like the Assassin better.
Can I just say I don't remember which live it was that we were talking about it, like trying to track what you have for gear and stuff like that, but I just happened to come across another packet of one of these that was like hidden underneath like a chair in my room.
Oh yeah.
So I just so yet again another spool of 15-pound tests. So it's like I have 15-pound tactical like P line for days.
Dude, I love that line. Not necessarily budget, but dude, it's so good. I really like this. Have you guys used this? Gabe, have you used this?
Super Fluoro?
Yeah, the Super.
Yeah, I've used that before. It's pretty good.
I really liked it. I mean, I think I was getting these for like $2 something when Gander went out of business, $2, $2.80. I think I was getting these for. So I think I bought like the last 10 that they had, and I burnt through most of them. I think I've got 20 and 25 left is all, which I don't use as much. But man, the 15-pound and 17-pound, I really, really liked. So
yeah,
I think Hellabass said he liked the Assassin a little bit better.
I think that Super Fluoro is the same thing as the Assassin, but the Assassin has like a G coating on it that makes it slicker. I'm pretty sure.
I don't really know much
about similar
lines. This was the first time I'd ever used it, so
was there
a lot.
Was it Debo? Was it P line or it was a Halo?
Oh, we're over. I'm gonna draw. Oh yeah, it's a copolymer. That's the P line Halo, that green that we had.
Yeah.
I
really like that stuff.
I agree with Cincinnati King there. Sunline Sniper and InvisX.
I've never used the Sniper. Yeah, InvisX is good. I've always just went with the Red Label. It was cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
I know the InvisX is kind of a good go-to, but I don't use. Actually, I think I got Amazon had a sale. Now that I think about that, I got a big, huge 1,000-yard roll some time ago. I do
the
like
Red
the
Label.
No, the InvisX.
Oh, the InvisX. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know how many years I went just fishing, just regular Berkeley, low vis, like 15-pound line, like on everything. That was just like, I'm going to get that, and that's all I'm going to get, and I don't care about anything else.
Okay, we're at 222. Let's draw here, man. We are way over hour 23. I'm sorry, y'all. We've been yakking here. This has been a fun one. We've had a lot of good talks here, guys. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Gabe and Dizzle, for joining in on the fun tonight. What do we got? Who's it going to be? Fishing
Berkeley
the 413. He went not too long ago.
Johnny
Granville. Johnny, are you in here? That was the thing I forgot to say. Got to be in here. Must
as
be present
always.
to win.
Johnny.
I'm going down. Man, there's so many good questions and stuff I'm skipping here. I hate that I get so far behind. I'm going to have to go to the bottom. Let's see. Okay, I think I missed a couple donations. Will you look out for Johnny for me, Randy? I'm going to go back and try to get these.
Oh, he's here.
Donations. He is? Okay. Johnny, will you please email me at DEBO'sFishing@gmail.com with a screenshot of your YouTube thing showing that it's you. I don't need to share anymore. Showing that it's you, and then of course your address. That way I know, because yes, like I've said before, we did have people trying to swindle old Debo and get free stuff, who were not winners. So don't do that out there if you're listening. But send me a screenshot of that so I know it's you and your address. And I think it's just the two. Did I get Ronald? I think Ronald was the last one. I'm scrolling. I missed so many good questions and stuff. I'm sorry, folks. Okay.
I think there was a couple of donations in there too.
That's what I was scrolling back. I think Ronald was the last one. If I missed you, say something in the chat now if I missed one of your donations. But Ronald, if you were right before Ronald, let me know. Ronald, $2 bomb. Thank you, my friend. Had a problem with beaver twice. Someone shot them.
Yep, it happens.
Damn, that happens.
They can be very destructive. I've actually shot a beaver back here in the pond. You know, they can chew up all the trees around the bank.
Oh yeah,
they're a mess.
Yeah, erosion. The crazy thing is once they do that, I mean, you've just got so many erosion problems and stuff once they kill that stuff off. I know they were having some problems with stuff around here. And damming stuff up, messing up the water, where the water's flowing.
Muskrats.
Yeah, river otters. Eric. Okay, I think Eric was the next one. Eric with a $20 bomb. Damn, dude, thank you. Do you have a harder time catching bass from the bank on the larger lakes you fish relative to the smaller ones? Any advice on how to approach the larger lakes from the bank? Thanks for all the time you put in. So yes, I mean, you're always going to have a harder time catching fish from the bank just because you're restricted to where you can go, what you can fish, right? I guess one tip I would say, especially for spring coming up, is the smaller lakes that you can get around. I know here in Iowa, we've had a ton of, actually everywhere is low. So, I mean, we've been, I forget how much lower for the annual rainfall last year and the year before. So a lot of the places you can actually walk around the whole outside of the lake that's down 3 feet. You can walk around it where you couldn't before. Another thing with early spring is not all the bushes and weeds and, everything, all the stuff that you normally can't get to spots, all that hasn't come up yet. So go exploring, go get off the beaten path, walk around spots, try to find new spots to fish, because to find fish, because early in the spring like that is some of the only times that you can, because once you start to hit summer, a lot of those places grow up and you literally just you don't have a pathway to cast or get to. So check that out early spring. There's some spots that Randy and I like to go hit when everything isn't grown up. What else? What do you guys have for tips for fishing like that?
I mean, I honestly, it's kind of silly, but I wear boots. Don't think you can get by with wearing some comfy tennis shoes and things like that. I know multiple times DEBO'S put on his goofy long boots over his jeans, and I'm like, what is this nerd doing over here? And I was like, oh, so much for these tennis shoes. They're ruined now. So throw some boots on. Don't be afraid to get into some mud and some gunk and some nastiness, because the harder it is to get to a spot, the probably better the spot it is for catching fish.
Yeah, I mean, it is, you're limited to access, especially on a big lake. I mean, you could Google Earth and kind of look at maybe the time of the year where you think the fish should probably be, and then find like an access point to that. And another thing with bank fishermen, and I've heard people complain about this, is the guys that are out in the boat. There's guys that don't have any respect for the people that are fishing down the bank. So if you guys fish out of a boat, and I'm not talking to you two on the other end, but guys out there in YouTube land, have respect for the bank fishermen. Go way around them, give them plenty of room, because they're not mobile. They've got a few places that they can get to, and that's all they have. You can fish anywhere in the whole lake. So give that person that's fishing the bank plenty of space, and everything will work out just fine. But you got to respect all fishermen, whether they're in a boat or on the bank.
Absolutely.
Goose poop will run tennis shoes. That's right. Got to watch the goose poop.
Dude, I hate geese. I hate Canadian geese.
I have them here. Yeah, they drive me nuts.
They're jerks.
Bottle rockets are pretty good. M80s.
I just bring Randy with me. It's a fun game I like to play. Is when I find a nesting goose, I like to see if Randy will go up to it before I don't say anything to him. He had one take off after him one day. It didn't. I wasn't even recording. Oh man, it's fun.
God.
like, hey, Randy,
There's-
remember you caught some good ones off that bank? And I'm waiting. I'm like,
There's been so many times that I've saved you as you're like backing up, casting. I'm like, Debo, that goose is still right behind you. What are you doing?
dude, I was a goose whisperer that day. I was fishing next to like 2 bedding geese, and they were completely
Yeah.
cool with me. Anytime Randy would get around, they were like, they could tell,
And
they
then-
could sense that you're a bully. They could
And then the
sense it.
daddy goose would like come out of left field, just out of nowhere, and he's just like, "Hey, I'm right here by you. I'm gonna bite you."
They start doing that thing with their neck, where they start doing that.
Yes.
It's time to
You know,
it's time to
you
get
know
out of there.
something's coming. Okay, let's see. I think I've got all of the donations. The last one is Frank, I think. Frank with the $5 bomb. Debo, do you keep the same percentage of membership dollars as super chats? I'm not sure. I should probably look into that. I think they take like 30%, which is crazy. But I like my support for your channel to be as supportive as possible. Yeah, and I honestly don't know the best way. I know some people have like Patreons and stuff like that. I've never looked into opening up one. I mean, the best way to support me is just like my videos and leave a comment. You don't have to drop a donation. But anybody that does, I appreciate it so much. What's going on here?
I'm laughing at Rich.
God, Hellebest is like, because geese can sense Guggen, and then Randall Pink Floyd comes up with a Goosen Squad comment.
Nice.
Oh,
Hashtag
geez.
goose.
I do want to say somebody asked about.
I'm going to draw a
boots.
winner here for my. I'm going to do a random.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
I actually bought a pair of muck boots for the first time this year. I've bought muck boots-esque in the past, like cheap versions of them, and muck boots are the way to go. If you got, an extra less than $200 for a pair of boots, I would definitely say go ahead and spend it on those, because they're a fantastic investment.
I'm going to let you guys. I have to put these into a random deal here real quick. I don't think I have a way to share this on my computer. I just put them into a spreadsheet here deal. So you guys run with it. Muck, we got muck boots. We got
really
moose.
a couple
moose
people
saying
saying that
moose,
muck boots were junk. I mean,
I've never.
Oh,
I think they're handy. I mean, I don't have any, but I mean, I could see an advantage if you just got to get your feet wet just a little bit.
oh yeah.
I don't know about brand. I got mine from. Get out of there! Literally, I just let you down here. You're trying to eat the pieces of cheese that I had here. I got mine from Tyson's. They're a brand that I'd never heard of. I've never had a single issue, and they are waterproof.
Is that your pet goose, Debo? Are you feeding?
Yeah, here's my pet goose.
Cheese?
Come here. You want to? This is the pet goose I found. He eats cheese. Come on, get up here.
He's
You
a
want to say hi to
Mr.
everyone?
Stubbies.
It's Mr. Stubbins. There's
Oh,
Mr.
Mr.
Stubbins. He's a good
Stubbies.
boy. He's a good boy. He kind of looks like a seal. Look.
He does.
He kind of looks like a land seal.
He does.
Don't you?
Like I posted that one picture on Instagram, and it was full on stubby seal.
He does. He looks like a seal. That's what people called the old pit bulls.
That dog would eat my little 13-pound schnoodle.
No, he loves dogs. I'm playing. Get
Oh,
down. No, I don't.
A schnoodle? Is that a Shih Tzu poodle?
It is. Yep, schnoodle.
I had a
no, it's a schnauzer. I'm sorry, schnauzer.
Schnauzer.
Yeah,
gotcha. I had a Shorkie and it's a Shih Tzu Yorkie, and then a Shih Tzu something. I don't remember what the other one was.
I'm interested in Caros too. If anybody has these, I was actually looking for some because I wanted to try to do some like creek wading and stuff. I've never worn any sort of waders. So if anybody has a good like budget, I don't want to spend. I don't know how much waders are. I don't want to spend like $500 on waders, but
I feel like they could be pretty expensive.
That's what I feel too, because like anything that makes like, or anybody that's like in the whole fly fishing like side of things, I feel like it's really expensive. So
I feel like you
should
should
just. He's on it.
He usually gets on fire from time to time.
He's a good guy, Mr. Randall Pink Floyd. We
love that name.
Debo, I feel like you should get some a pair of Crocs and 4-wheel drive. And
dude, I tried a pair of Crocs on, and they're the stupidest shoes I've ever worn. I don't know how anybody, but see, I don't like open-toed like sandals. Like I hate flip-flops. They're not comfortable to me. Like I'm a tennis shoe.
Well, that's crazy because that's not a Croc whatsoever.
They feel like the same thing. It's like a foamy, stupid, like, oh, don't wear socks with it, and these are comfortable. They're not comfortable.
Whatever you do,
Anybody-
don't get a knockoff generic crock, because those are the exact same thing, but instead of like a soft spongy thing, they are a hard plastic that will cut your feet apart.
Huh. Okay. Heard it
Okay,
here.
I'm gonna run this. You guys keep chat going here for me. We still got 300 people in here. What else? What else do we have for getting better? Do we have any good questions? Do we have any good? Gabe, what do you got? Gabe, show and tell.
I just want to. I know you guys have.
Ooh.
Yeah, the Daiwa Tatula. I'm very impressed with this. I just got like 3 of these. I bought them used from a guy here locally that was getting out of fishing, and they are
Randy might
awesome.
have got his first Tatula. I've been
What do you
telling you,
think
Randall.
about them? You guys like them?
So
I love them.
okay,
Yeah.
the very
This isn't a
first day I
Tatula,
was
but that's the
throwing
only
this,
Daiwa I've got here.
I sent Debo a text, and I was like, I don't know if it just happened to be the lure I was throwing or what it was, but it felt like, you know, when you're cranking your boat up, not with the safety line, but the other like kind of crank up, like thicker ratchety line,
Yeah.
that tick, 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 you know, as you're ratcheting it up. I felt like this was doing it as I was bringing the lure in. And I've had it do it a couple other times, but I haven't been able to recreate it with Debo. That's my only complaint. And I guess the fact that it's a graphite frame, because in case you're not paying attention, when you're spooling up, you probably can't see that, but it's
David was the winner.
kind of
David.
ate up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David
it was
Galloway, are you still in here?
Hopefully. I'll keep an eye out on that, but
I shouldn't. I didn't.
It's
I didn't say
decent
that
so
for
far.
donations, but
Mhm.
hopefully.
I
Yes.
thought they casted really well.
Yeah, it does. I will say, like, if the first sign of anything with this, it's going to re-solidify my hatred for Daiwa. This is my second Daiwa reel ever, and the first one was in the reeds, and Debo picked it up and kept it. So
Yeah. I got mostly lose. Like probably 95% of my reels have just been lose. Like the tournament pro that came out like 13, 14 years ago. I still have a bunch of those and they're still up and running. So I don't really know a whole lot about other brands. I mean, I had a bunch of Corrados, like the old Corrados. Before I had lose, I had a bunch of
The
Corrados.
greenies.
Yeah, the greenies. Yeah, the B200s. I had a bunch of those, and then this is the first Daiwa that I really had, and I don't know. I thought it was decent for sure.
So the problem is, now that I think of this, somebody that donated, what if they're not on? So I didn't say you had to be on for a donation. I wonder if I can.
I think with a
message
donation, you're
him.
just kind of
Yeah, I'm
figure out how to
stuck. I
get
mean,
a hold of
I'll
them.
try to find David. I'll have to go back and look and see if he's commented on stuff.
I'm
That's
still
something I'm gonna
watching.
have
I
to think
haven't seen
about.
him.
Yeah, I haven't seen him. Usually, I would think that they're in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to think about that. Well, okay. Yeah, absolutely. I love Daiwas. The cool thing about all the Tatula lines, actually, Nick, I don't know if not so. His name should be Not So Fat Boy Fishing. He's been working out and lost a lot of weight. Looks good, brother. But Nick, Fat Boy Fishing, good supporter. We talk back and forth a lot. He just got a Daiwa Tatula 100, and I just picked up the 150. He found some on sale, actually American Legacy. And the nice thing about the Tatulas, I believe the 100, I think all of them do, are aluminum frame and aluminum handle side plate. So if you're ever doing something that's a little bit more heavy duty, Daiwa is the way to go, because I mean they are solid. That actually Randy was talking about. Let me see if I have it. The 200.
Yeah, Fat Boy and I have the same one, except for mine's got the handle on the correct side versus his, which is backwards.
It's weird, man. I got some left-handed reels. It takes some getting used to.
Man, the thing about it is I don't understand how people are always like, spinning rod, spinning rod, spinning rod. I'm going to use it left-handed.
Yep.
But you get into a bait caster and they're, I got it. It's right-handed retrieve. I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm like that. I have my spinning reels left, and then
Yep.
the casting's right. I don't know how I got in that habit, but that's just kind of how it is.
It's like I
strange.
like not even subconsciously, I was like a conscious effort. Like, okay, I'm gonna start with the bait casters and things like that after I started growing up a little bit with my rods and reel combos. And I'm like, I'm gonna get a left-handed bait caster, and then I realized how few left-handed bait casters there actually are. Like,
Yeah.
Is Caro still in here? I know Caro was in
Who?
here too. Caro Ferg. Caro, you're always supporting everyone. I actually found, so this is when I was out testing the other day. This one I called Glitter Bomb. Caro, I feel like this would be up your alley. This one's pretty cool. All glittered out. Caro, I'll send you this one. This isn't a stunner. I like the stunner, but it sunk. The time I was trying to use it, I wanted suspending, and it must have been a water temperature thing, but they do say it's a slow sinking.
They sink. Yeah, they're slow sink.
Yeah, and I thought it was like a suspend thing. But Kara, if you're still on, I'll hook you up. You're always supporting all of us, me, Gramps, all the companies. Now I just have to figure out how the hell I'm gonna get a hold of David. So,
Chris, I don't know why left-handed is a Canadian thing. Am I missing something there?
So the thing is, people ask me this all the time. Right-handed, like when. And I wouldn't say that we're old guys, but a lot of us when we were learning, right-handed were just so much more readily available. Like back when my dad taught me, I learned to use one when I was like, I don't know, 8. Like you couldn't find left-handed reels. You go to like a Walmart or Kmart or whatever, everything was all righty. So everybody learned to cast and then switch hands and then reel with your right. Now that there's so much more available.
So you weren't like that guy that has your spinning rod flipped upside down with your spinning
the upside down hole with the plastic still on the cork handle.
Oh god, that makes me sick every single time I see that meme of like somebody holding a spinning rod upside down, reeling it backwards.
Yep.
What are you doing?
What else do we have for questions? Man, I can't believe we still got 318 people on. We'll do a couple more questions. Each of us will pick a question, then we'll all answer, then we'll get out of here so we're not taking up everybody's time. But I guess you wouldn't be here if you didn't want to watch. So I guess
I'm enjoying it. That left-handed reel, though, is awesome for like a buzz bait because as soon as it hits the water, you engage and you're right there.
Yep.
It's pretty handy. I mean, I've practiced pitching left-handed now. Especially with a heavier weight, like for punching and stuff. We do a lot of punching around here. We have a lot of grass. So if you get in the habit of pitching left-handed with like a 1 ounce weight, you don't have to switch. It's just right there. So, but I don't know. There's pros and cons. But yeah, it is weird how I fish, or a lot of us fish a spinning reel one way and then a bait caster the other way.
Yeah. And one thing fishing with Debo, Debo, like he does a really good job of switching back and forth in between the two, and I've tried to kind of keep up. And
I love using both. I'm like 50-50 now because you can get sales on the lefties. Like I'd find all these good sales and be like left-handed. Like what, 3-4 years ago when I started using both?
Yeah,
like,
there are
I'm teaching myself to use both.
Like retrieves that I can't do. Like what was it? The day we took the boat out, the Topwater. I don't remember what they were. The Strike King walking baits. I can't do that. I can't do that with a right hand retrieve. My left hand just doesn't work like that. I have no idea why.
The sexy dog, was it the sexy dog?
Yes. Yep.
One of my favorites.
First time I used a left-handed reel, and I was flipping a jig, and I set the hook. I have a tendency of pushing the thumb bar when I set, and it was nasty. It just blew up the reel. It was a bad deal. So I can't flip and pitch with the left, but I can like a winding bait. I'm fine with it. It doesn't bother me. But I don't know. It's tricky.
Let's see. What do we got? Do we have any good? There was a line question or a not question I ran over. Oh, this or that. Pike and tackle. I love this or that's. Pike and tackle said this or that. Single fluke or double fluke rig. I've actually never fished what they call it, the donkey rig, the 2 flukes on one line. I've never fished it. And actually a single fluke, I'll be honest, for the longest time, last year or the year before, I made more of a point to fish them because I had new bags. Hi, Stubbins. What's wrong?
I fish a trick worm a lot instead of a fluke. I mean, you can fish a trick worm just like a fluke, and it doesn't spin up on you as much. You don't get as much line twist. It kills better, but I feel like you still catch the same fish. So, but
my problem was I was kind of, I guess, tarnished by always getting zoom flukes. And then if you have a tackle bag, like if the bag gets kinked, you take a zoom fluke out and it looks like this, and it's like, well, I can't throw this, you know.
Yeah.
So then I just wouldn't throw. Stop pitching. I wouldn't throw flukes or flukes. I would just go to like a wacky rig Cinco or a Cinco and walk it, you know, because they're all messed up. So, but I've made more of a point to do it. I'm trying to think. I feel like there was one. Oh, the caffeine shad was an interesting one that I'd never thrown. I liked that one last year. Tackle box Mike, this is a good one, not really a question, but do you guys ever go to garage sales for fishing gear? I don't really go out to garage sales, but Facebook Marketplace, when I was back looking for the 200 Curados, the E series, because I used to have one, sold it for like $40 like an idiot, and I'm like, man, I want one. You go on eBay, they're like 200, 250 bucks. I'm like, I ain't paying that. So I found some good used ones around here for like 100 something. Marketplace, good one.
I know buddy, old Johnny once told me, he was like, hey, you go down here right off of Amesboro, this guy's having a garage sale, and you go up there and it's like the guy wasn't having a garage sale. It was the woman in his, or potentially was in his life, was having a garage sale. And I find a giant box, bigger than a 3600, of crankbaits. Just like brand new, I can't remember the name of them, but like crankbaits of all sizes and diving depths and things like that. And it had $60 on there. And I walk up and she's like, what do you pay 40 for that? And I was like, I don't understand the way negotiations work, because this says 60 and you said pay me 40. And I was like, done. Paid her 40 and went on my way.
Nice.
Dude, hella, you nailed it. Dizzle loves the Guggen dart.
I was literally
He's
just
always
gonna
darting.
say, I don't mind darting every once in a while, but I've never dabbled in the Guggen dart before.
Oh, okay. Jig Squad gave me a really good idea. Those old crooked banana style flukes, I should save those for the Inu rig. I could do the Inu fluke rig.
There you go. Nobody's doing that, man. It's got to work.
Inu fluke. Andy says, I really like 10 Horse Monty's last video on the stupid tube.
Thanks, Andy. Appreciate that. Yeah, I think
who's a what's it?
The stupid tube.
Do you have one rigged up?
I do, man. I brought one.
Yes, man. I love it. I love the show and tell. I'm such a nerd. I love when people show and tell.
Do full screen, Debo.
Thank you, Randy.
This is like, you guys need to be fishing this. A lot of people don't talk about it. It's weird. You don't really hear about it. I found out about
the river guys here fish a regular fluke, but yeah, the stupid tube is, or God dang it, I'm still on
regular tube.
Yeah, regular tube. But yeah, the stupid tube is honestly something I haven't thrown. I just throw regular.
It is. Let me see. Let me get some scissors. I'll take it apart and show you how it's set up. But I learned how to fish this probably in 2015 on Kentucky Lake. There was a guy down there. I kind of befriended him, and he's from Indiana, and he showed me this thing. So it's a 4-inch flipping tube. This is a Charmer tube. There's several good tubes out there. Crocagator, I know I mentioned Crocagator earlier, but they make a good 4-inch tube. But Charmer Bait Company.
Yeah, I'm gonna check, see if they're on.
But so let me pull this apart. This thing is so good, especially right now. I've been throwing it around lately and have had a lot of success on it. And it's really good in stained water, which is kind of interesting.
Really?
Would be. Yeah. Huh. This color right here is called DEBO'S Dynamite. It's a kind of a green pumpkin, but it's got some purple fleck in it. It's got some black in there. This color right here is really good in stained water. So this is what the hook looks like. Okay, so it's kind of a Kale style hook. This is a 3/0 hook, and I like the 3/16 size right here, but it's got like a 60-degree line tie, and it's super simple to rig. You just take your 4-inch tube and you run your hook point down the center of the tube. One thing that's key, and I talked about this on that video, is to make sure you have all your tentacles on the outside of the tube. If you don't, when you put that hook point in there, you'll draw them down inside of there, and then it just kind of throws off the balance of the tube. So you just run the hook point down inside of the tube like this, and you kind of want to pay attention to where you come out. You want to make sure.
Who makes that head, Gabe? Gil Hellabass was asking.
This is custom poured by a friend of mine.
Oh,
fortunately, and that is there's a lull. There's a gap in the market for a good stupid tube head.
That's what I was just going to say. Paul says Gramps talks about it all the time. That's actually, I bought some. I'll show here in an unboxing because yeah, Gramps uses them a ton. And I know Hellabass does too. I think that's where Gramps got it from, was Rich.
They're so good. So you get like this, and you pull your hook point out, and then the next thing you want
So
to
you
do,
take the hook point down through like you're doing a Texas rig all the way down to the bottom.
yes,
Mhm.
and then you've got to make sure that you're mindful of leaving enough space for the actual lead part of the jig head in the head of the
Gotcha.
tube. You know, you got to
Yep.
leave enough gap in there to slide that in there. So when you get to this point right here, all you're going to do is kind of just moisten it, and that allows the lead to slide down the center of the tube. If you don't do that, it kind of drags. And you know, lubrication is really important on certain
You could
things.
probably
and
put some
definitely
scent in
important on
there
this.
too, right?
You could.
Lubricate it and put scent in. That might be kind of cool.
You could. So you get to this point right here, and all you do is just take your 2 fingers and just go like that, and the line tie pops out of the top.
Mhm.
And,
Oh,
then you,
Chris.
and you just Texas rig it like that. Just kind of, I Tex pose it, and that's it. It's a stupid tube. And this sucker comes through wood, rock. It's interesting because the way this line tie is versus a Texas rig, like a Texas rig, you're going to have a bullet weight on there. You're going to have
It
a line tie
wedges
right
into
here.
rocks. Yeah, it wedges
Yeah,
into things.
Yep.
this line tie, it actually it makes it do this when you pull it. So that looks kind of like a crawfish, like a defensive position. It's just got a different action than a Texas rig. But if you haven't tried this technique, man, I'm telling you, it's
I even
really
noticed
good
with like a regular tube, because like even if you leave just a smidge of the plastic in front of the lead, like you don't butt it up against it all the way. If you leave just a smidge, like I used to fish tubes back in the day in rocks, that's how we'd fish them, which was awesome. And they were like, even with an open hook, you didn't get them snagged a ton.
Mhm.
But I like that. I mean, that's even more weedless.
You can throw this on a lay down. You know, you could skip it underneath the dock.
Yeah,
Or
I mean, it's
something.
essentially a Texas rig meets jig tube.
Yeah, it skips so good because there's no skirt material. It's like totally flat all the way around. It just takes off. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Anyway,
Thanks for sharing
I
that,
just
Gabe. Yeah,
dropped a video on that not too long ago.
Yeah, that's one I've seen guys talking about, and I mean, yeah, Gramps, did you have like to modify that mold, Gramps? I'll hit you up on that because I might want to pour some of my own. I wonder if whoever pours it, do you know, is it a do-it mold that they're using, Gabe?
I think it's a do it mold, but they had to modify it for that hook.
That makes sense. Yeah, that EWG.
I don't know what hook that is either.
I'll hit up Gramps. I might be doing some playing with that.
And I'll bend it out a little bit too.
Here was a good one. I wondered this too from Dax. What's your setup for that? Like rod and reel, what do you like to throw that on? What weight was that head too?
That's a 3/16 ounce head, which is my 90% of the time I'm throwing a 3/16. I can fish that down to about 15 feet of water, and I can fish it in 2 feet of water. It's just all around. I like to throw a 15-pound fluorocarbon
because there's no resistance. You know, you think about a tube, it's just straight.
It's straight
going
down.
It doesn't have paddles or.
Yeah, and it's a finessier bait. I mean, I think a lot of times when they won't hit a jig, they'll hit this tube for whatever reason. It's just a little bit more finessey, and I don't know. I'm excited about it. I always have been, but a 7-foot medium heavy rod is what I throw it on. This is a Falcon Cara, and then just a 7-to-1 gear ratio reel. But any kind of 7-foot, 7.2 medium heavy. If you want to throw it on a spinning rod, same thing. I would say like a 7 to 7.4 medium to medium heavy spinning rod. You know, I'd definitely go braid to probably 12-pound fluoro. I don't think you would go less than 12-pound fluoro or more than 15. I think 12 to 15 is that sweet spot because it is still kind of a finessey, presentation. You could throw it on 17, but my opinion is when you start line sizing, upping the line size on that finessey type stuff, you lose a lot of the action. And I definitely feel like that stupid tube is still kind of finessey. I think that 15-pound test is about perfect for that.
That always like makes me cringe, like when the drop shot fanatic guys are like, yeah, I had to drop down to 5-pound line because it gave me that much more action out of that worm, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like, it always scares me. I tend to usually go a little bit heavier on line probably most of the time than I should, but man, I know some of those guys like dancing with the devil on some of those little finesse drop shot deals, but man, it works. I hate drop shots. Are you a drop shot guy, Gabe?
You know what? I got a tournament coming up. I got a BFL coming up on Table Rock, and I will be throwing a drop shot. But I've had some good days on a drop shot. I don't keep it on the deck like I should probably. but I'll probably be fishing it more because I just got live scope. I heard somebody had
Good
mentioned
night,
live
Ronald.
scope
Thanks
earlier
for
in the
joining us.
stream, but yeah, live scope and a drop shot are kind of two things that you need that go hand in hand. Not enough. I don't throw it enough. It's a great co-angler bait. If you're in the back of the boat throwing a drop shot, it's like one of the best things you can be throwing.
Dude, I know it catches fish. I just
Debo, it's like that. I feel the exact same way as what you do. It's like we are kind of handcuffed because the only time we ever busted out is when we're like on a jetty, fishing from the shore. I mean,
that's the other thing is from the bank versus a boat, completely
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. You're dragging it uphill. Yeah. You'd have to go like
Mhm.
an 1/8 ounce and you're still going to break off a lot.
And there's been days where I've had good days on the drop shot, and it's fun. It's not that I don't like light line or spinning gear. It's just that I hate the fact that you have to get out the knot, make sure the knot is tied right, then you have to get your leader I don't know.
And then when you catch a fish,
Must have been
it wraps around,
Yeah.
the hook, screws everything up. It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
And it's a spinning
Okay.
combo, so it's automatically going to attack
Yeah.
every other combo you carry with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I know. I'm gonna have to untangle this before I even get the drop shot out because it's lassoed everything else in my arsenal. All right. What do you guys got? Do you guys have a question? Do you guys pick one that you want to go to? Each of you need to find one. Then we're getting out of here. I've kind of been hogging all the questions. Sorry. I seen Hellabass was still in here because I have incriminating pictures of him. So he is required to watch every one of my lives and participate, or else I'll ruin his name.
I mean,
Slander.
I already asked my question, and that's what the stupid rig was. So I think I'm kind of set. But
Okay.
the crazy thing is the last time I asked about a rig was the free rig. So
Oh yeah.
might,
That's what I want to try this year more too. It's interesting because it really does. I need to find somebody with like a 100-gallon fish tank that will hook me up with a decent price because I would love to do like testing down here
right.
and like show the stuff underwater because I don't have a pool or I guess actually when my pool when the girls' pool gets up. But
No,
like,
girls,
like
you
test
can't.
all the
I
time.
gotta test lures. Get out of
Get
the
out of here,
pool.
Daddy's testing lures. You're not swimming.
Yeah.
We
You
gotta-
start
we
slinging
got-
something around with treble hooks and they will get out of the pool regardless. You can make them leave the pool.
What do you got, Gabe? Do you got a question? Gabe's gonna do the closing question here. Then we're getting out.
I'm looking through a lot of this stuff. Well,
Ooh, a good fluoro that's good on a spinning reel. I honestly go braid to a leader on all my spinning reels now. It's just
same here.
I'm a huge fan of it. I would say the P-Line Tactical is good and soft. If you don't mind a little bit of stretch, there's actually a lot of copolymers out there that don't have as much stretch as a mono that I like. So I don't know if that's something for you, but usually a little softer. They don't coil up as much, not as much memory.
Let's
Okay,
go with
well,
Rob Harrison's question there.
I was going to say,
Rob, good supporter. Where's Rob's at? What time is it? What time is the question?
Oh,
Okay.
9:29.
9:29. Okay, let me go back here. Rob, what's Rob's? Why am I not seeing it? Oh, here we go. Do you listen to music while fishing? And if you do, what's your go-to? Actually, the question for Gabe. Gabe, do you listen to anything besides Metallica while you're fishing?
That's all I listen to. I watched a really good Pantera documentary the other night about Dimebag Darrell, and he was murdered by a fan. It was crazy, but that's an interesting story. I didn't know the story behind that, but anyway, if you guys are interested in a crazy documentary, go back and check that out. It's a sad story.
it really is.
I don't listen to music while I'm fishing. I just don't, for a couple of reasons. Probably the main reason is because I'm creating content and there's copyright issues if you've got any kind of music going. And I guess I could have an earbud in or something, but I listen to nature. A lot of times if you're not, if you were distracted by something in your ear, you're going to miss a lot of stuff that's going on. You're going to miss say a fish blows up in the back of a cove. If you got music in your ear, you're not going to hear that stuff. If there's shad flickering, you're going to miss wildlife on the bank. I don't know, not to sound like a tree hugger or anything, but nature's kind of just the way it is.
No, I agree. Fishing with Randy,
Go ahead.
I have to keep nothing in my ears. I have to be on my game at all times. There's no telling what this guy's gonna do. Sneak up on me. He tries to push me in all the time. So
Did you see Randall Pink Floyd's most recent comment? It was enter sand bass.
Enter sand bass. Yeah. If I was an ocean fisherman, man, for sure.
I will say, depending on so if I'm not fishing with Debo, I usually have one of my earbuds in, and I'm usually listening to music. And one thing that I brought up actually
you do all the
last
time.
week,
Anytime I get there, you're always there listening to music.
yeah, like one of the things that I brought up last time was, especially with like a jerkbait or something like that, I will get it kind of in tune with like the cadence of the music itself, and
Really?
that actually helps me not pigeonhole myself into the exact pop pause kind of thing. I usually will kind of get going with the music, and depending on what it is, maybe it's like a pop pause, or something like that, and just kind of helps me keep it not consistent, not natural, I guess.
That
kinda
one time I
see-
pulled up. That one time I pulled up and you were listening to Slipknot Psychosocial and you were working the jerkbait, dude, it was crazy. See, look at that. I scared him so much he had to get out of here.
That's what I was gonna say, man. You could keep a journal of what song you were listening to and what water temperature it was and what bait, and you could, that cadence on that song, that bait, get you dialed in every time you're in that situation.
Well, I think Randall's Walmart
No,
internet's going out
I
here.
keep getting a phone call, and I have to keep ignoring them because it's like,
Yeah,
Like
Justin
get a
Bieber isn't
earbud.
music, Randy. Quit listening to the Bieber
I'm
while you're fishing.
okay, it's Miley Cyrus, and come at me. I mean,
Do you guys have a band or two that you've just discovered like in the last 6 months that you're real stoked about? Anything come to mind? I mean, I listen to music all the time, but just not while I'm fishing.
Yeah, I'm a huge
yeah,
music guy. Yeah, not while I'm fishing either. Same for Randy, do you know how many stickers are on your thing back there?
748.
Don't give it away. We were gonna do a giveaway. Maybe that's what we'll do next time. Next
Oh yeah,
Saturday,
no,
you need to count
that's
how many are on there, and we'll do a giveaway based on who can guess it. We'll do 2 giveaways.
Yes.
Or you just leave. You can just leave.
It's impressive, 748 stickers.
I mean, there's
Billy
this side, there's that side, and that side.
We're just gonna say
obviously
the
can't
front
see
side. The
all
front
sides.
side there. Everybody get a good look now. Just the front side is all you're gonna count, Randy. People have to guess. Just the front side there. Here,
That's
we'll
a
even
great
do
giveaway.
a solo layout.
I'll say, oh yeah.
Holy cow.
I see a Debo sticker there in the green.
How many years
yeah.
worth of stickers is that?
Oh God, honestly, I started with when I got I started with the box, the monster. What is it? The Carl's box. What's that called? Mystery tackle box. So I think actually this side over here is all mystery tackle box stuff, and then more and more stickers just showed up, and actually
It's probably Dar Sizzle. It's probably Dar Sizzle calling you ever since we brought up her YouTube because copyright infringement.
this thing is filled with stickers.
You love
Just
the
saying.
stickers. A new band from I've actually been excited about the newer Slipknot stuff. I'm a
I
huge
will
Slipknot fan,
say
being an Iowa boy.
this
Not
is kind of a
necessarily
crazy
band,
band. They're called Our Last Night. They do like cover songs. They do a bunch of covers, and then they have their own stuff. So like they do Wrecking Ball, Miley Cyrus. They do Katy Perry's Roar, just like kind of random stuff, but it's super, super heavy.
Oh, cool.
Super heavy. So Our Last Night, I would definitely check them out, and they definitely get down on some of their songs.
I was
I see a
actually going to
bunch of-
ask about that.
Bunch of shout outs to Billy Strings on here. You guys ever listen to Billy Strings, bluegrass guy? That's really good stuff, man. Really good stuff. And he's a huge bass fisherman too.
Yeah.
He's been in a couple. Well, he's been on a couple trips with Matt Robertson, who's a pro out of Catawba, Kentucky. He's a Bassmaster Elite guys.
That on him.
Bassmaster Elite
On
guy.
him
Yeah,
fishing?
Billy Strings is awesome. New Master Sounds.
You guys ever listen to New Master Sounds?
Hmm.
It's a good one. New Master Sounds and Wolfpack. They're like funk jazz type of stuff, but they've got a bunch of quality albums if you're looking for that kind of funky jazzy stuff.
Yeah, so I know like bluesy kind of stuff like that. William Elliott Whitmore. He's I think he's from like Iowa-ish area.
Okay.
Dude is super bluesy, kind of little country-y. But the cool thing is he actually will get up there and he'll play like all of the music by himself. So he's playing like a banjo or a guitar and the percussion with his feet, like on the, heavy boot on a stage and stuff like that, and sing at the same time.
That's cool.
He's pretty BA. I like him a lot.
Coulter Wall does that too. Coulter Wall's
Oh,
like
yeah. I know.
He's got the kick drum with his heel of his cowboy boots. Yeah. He's got that low
Nathan. So funny story. I actually got on a D Antwoord kick after somebody shared a South African like rap. I don't even know what you'd put
Ninja.
Yeah, because
they're like
the movie
techno
Chappie.
EDM-ish.
I found the movie Chappie like right after it came out, and I loved it because it's one thing I've always talked about. Like I kind of get into a nerd in the multi-dimension. Like I just love thinking about that stuff. So I'm like, what if you could get to the point where robots or artificial AI or artificial intelligence got to a point where it started to get a conscious, it started to be able to I can't even think of the word now,
like be aware.
Yeah, like self-awareness. Like what if it got to that point? Because they were talking about the robot that they built that program, and the program was doing like whatever it thought was best, and it was running like all these different scenarios. And they talked about a part in the program where it got to like I don't remember what happened. They were feeding different inputs to it, and it was talking about like taking out like natural life or something like that because it thought it was the best. So it's like, dude, it's
crazy.
Not Stargate. No, it's Skynet. Dude, it's Skynet.
Oh,
so anyway. So I got on a D Antwoord kit kind of as a joke, and then me and a buddy got listening to him. So that's actually kind of funny that you bring them up. But I'm usually a hard rock metal type guy.
Yeah.
Man,
I like a little bit of everything.
Literally, I will listen to like everything. I'm going through just like looking at the YouTube, like one of the music sets that I have saved out here, and it's like Jonathan Bree, totally random kind of weird music. I have no idea what you would even call them. And then I got like EDM right next to that, and then Mushroom Head. Like, dude, I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are over 2 hours. Holy crap! I think we're gonna cut it there. A little music talk. This was a fun one. If you guys have not followed Gabe, Tin Horse Monty, super nice guy, and I like it because he's also an aluminum kayak guy. Yours is a little bit nicer though. Yours isn't quite the aluminum kayak mine is. How big is yours?
Like a John boat. I'm like an aluminum John boat guy.
Yeah, you are
next
actually
level boat, I guess.
What is yours? Yours 17?
It's a 1650 Express. Yeah, it's kind of pimped out. I got it kind of decked out.
Yours
a lot
is
of work to it, but I don't know. I like
mine's
it.
a little junky 11-footer. It's one that we've had in the family forever. So it's like there's literally guys pedaling past me on their kayaks that are bigger than my little John boat. But dude, you can't knock the John boats because I can get to the same places as them with a full trolling motor on it. A full 12 trolling motor on the back of it. And it's like
the fish don't care, man. The fish.
And for some crazy reason, Debo wants to get me in there with him.
It would be fine. 11-footer with both of us in there would be fine.
You have to wear your little water wings, the little bridle wings.
Yeah. Like the only way I'm doing that is if I leave everything that's important to me in my truck, and like I have just a key tied onto a string that's like quadruple tied to my arm, so I can't lose it when inevitably we do tip.
The little help alert.
Yeah.
Get up,
Yeah.
Randy, it would be fun. I've seen guys fishing on big unicorn camel looking inflatable things. We'd be fine in it. It would be a great time. I would just say only bring one rod and no other tackle. I'm not bringing anything valuable. Just in case.
One rod, no tackle, and you're not bringing the trolling motor and battery because that's an environmental hazard when we inevitably tip. And
You can only bring the tackle that you can fit in your cargo shorts. That's the challenge.
Oh, geez, dude. So it's all of my stuff.
Or in your case, the utility cargo kilt. You even got the little
Oh.
pouch. What's the pouch called on your little cargo
Yeah,
kilt
what
thing?
is that? I have no idea. That's
You got the little
no,
fanny
never mind.
pack.
That's
I
not.
What
have
is
no
it?
idea what it's called.
Okay.
All right,
There's like
we're
a
getting out of here, guys.
cod
Make
thing.
sure you
Yeah,
follow
I
Gabe
know.
10 Horse Monty. Go follow Randy below. He is still the #1 most subscribed to YouTube channel that has never released a video. We're gonna try to get him to 1,000 subscribers without a single video going out.
And then I'm posting all the videos.
Hey, real quick before we go.
Yeah,
can I
what do
do
you
like
got?
a shameless plug real quick.
Hell yes, you can. Absolutely, it's nothing shameless about it.
If you guys like more live stream content, we do a live stream on Monday nights at 7:30
yeah,
Central
I'm sorry, I
Standard
didn't
Time
think of that.
on the 10
Yeah.
Horse Money YouTube channel. It's a good time. It's similar to what's going on here. We just kind of jabberjaw with fishermen about just useful
You have
content.
a lot of
that
the
kind
big
stuff.
dogs on too. You got tournament guys and
Yeah, we got
who's
a
some of your
mix.
favorites actually before we get out. Who are some of your favorites that you've had on?
Well, check this out. This Monday we got Randy Blockett, so I don't know how that's going to go. He's kind
Interesting.
of controversial, but a lot of people like him. A lot of people don't. And he's got a $10 jig out. I want to definitely talk about a $10 jig because we were talking about
Damn.
losing jigs off the bank. I want to see how that would work out. But
Yeah,
that's
I'd go broke
this
fishing that,
Monday.
I think.
Gosh, man, it's hard to go back and think about the favorite ones. Dion Hibden, he's an FLW Angler of the Year. He's won the Bassmaster Classic. He's won the FLW Cup. He's a really good one. He's a super good storyteller. When you get these guys on there that have all this history, they fish in different parts of the world, and
that's what I love to hear. Yeah,
they have so many stories. There's nothing like a good storyteller. I can just sit there and listen to a guy tell stories for hours and hours.
Same.
It feels like you're at the coffee shop with all the old school dudes down there just talking about back in the good old day.
Yeah,
yeah. Dion's is a really good one. We've had a bunch of them. There's so many good fishermen out there, and it's just cool that they'll come on there and spend some time with a no name. Just some guy that contacted them through Facebook, and they spend the time to come on there and share their information. So that's Monday nights at 7:30. If you guys are looking for something to do, we'd love to have you on the stream.
Real quick, it's TIN, TIN. I actually just pulled it up and I thought it was 10, like the number, but it's 10.
It's 10. And
see, I'm proving you can't read, Randy. It's on the screen right now. 10 Horse Monty.
I don't have my glasses on, and I'm not.
Oh, baloney!
It's 10 because I fish in a 10 boat, so it's aluminum boat, and the industry calls it 10. And then most of the lakes that I fish on have a 10 horsepower restricted lakes, and I have a 9.9 on the back of my boat, which is a 10 horse. So there's the 10 TIN. It's a play on 10 horse.
Yeah. So real quick, not that I want to keep this going at all, but like, do they police that very often? The motor size and stuff like that?
At times. I mean, there's still people that get on there with a big boat and idle around. But when they start getting a lot of phone calls from people, hey, I keep seeing all these big Ranger boats out here and they're idling around, then they'll have the game warden. He'll kind of come in, he'll do like a kind of special ops for a couple of weeks and write a bunch of tickets and stuff. And it kind of calms down.
Because I know Debo mentioned Lake McBride earlier, and they have
they police it there for sure.
They have a really weird motor, like from X time to X time, it can be only so many horsepower, and then after that, it's X horsepower. It can be very confusing. So that's something I always wondered.
Yeah. There's some lakes are like 40 horsepower, some are 10, and then some of them in Missouri, it's unlimited horsepower, but it's no wake, so it's idle speed only. Yeah,
we have a bunch of those, which is always funny. You see the guys with like the $80,000 bass boat with the 250 on back, and it's going blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
and they're like,
oh. Yep, and they can get you too if they see a wake. They can write you a ticket.
All right. Well, we're getting out of here, folks. Everybody, make sure you go follow 10 Horse Monty. Gabe, good guy. Make sure you follow Randy down there too. Good guy. He just won't put out a video. So we're getting out of here. We'll be on here again. Oh, just broke the phone. And again, next Saturday. Thank you all for watching. And until next time.